Chapter 1081. Although he was a revered martial artist, Lu Changtian was not someone who could easily deal with the attacks of 6 people. Furthermore, Lu Changtian could see that the 6 of them were cooperating very well. Not daring to be careless, Lu Changtian used the shattering martial fist. This was not a battle technique of the divine realm, but it was indeed created by Lin Rei. In this world, other than Lin Rei, only Lu Changtian knew how to use it. Come, let me see where your confidence comes from. After saying that, his body shot out like an arrow, turning into a fierce beast that had awakened from a long slumber. Facing such a combination, one could not stop them from fighting head-on. The only way to kill them quickly was to defeat them one by one. Martial cultivation was originally about cultivating several bodies. Using strength to defeat them was the most practical and the most basic skill of a martial cultivator. For example, Lin Rei's physical body was at the sage realm. Even if he encountered a sage, his physical body would still be there even if the spiritual energy in his body was depleted. This was very obvious in a battle. Not good, he wants to defeat us one by one. Among the 6 people, a middle-aged man saw Lu Changtian's actions and his expression changed. He said to the people beside him, Do you really think we are vegetarians?" They understood that he wanted to defeat them one by one, but would they give Lu Changtian the chance to do so? Obviously, this chance would not be given to Lu Changtian. The moment they understood Lu Changtian's intention, the 6 people instantly stood together and used their martial techniques at the same time, aiming at Lu Changtian as if they wanted to KO Lu Changtian with one move. Heh, I didn't expect there to be a smart person. Seeing that the other party knew his purpose, a trace of surprise flashed in his calm eyes, but it disappeared in an instant. But, is it useful? Lu Changtian didn't care about the 6 people's attacks at all. He targeted one of the martial kings, and instead of retreating, he moved his body to the side and dodged the attacks. He used the butterfly steps, and many afterimages appeared instantly. Seeing that their attacks had been dodged, the 6 of them retreated hastily, intending to get out of Lu Changtian's battle range. A mere martial king dares to spout nonsense in front of me. Very brave, but unfortunately, it's useless. The moment the 6 of them retreated, Lu Changtian used the butterfly steps and instantly rushed to the front of the target he had locked onto. He reached out and grabbed the martial king's wrist. Exerting force with his arm, he instantly pulled the martial king out of the group of 6. With a perfect shoulder throw, the martial king was fiercely thrown to the ground. Then, without waiting for the martial king to react, he raised his hand and used the martial breaking fist. It was very powerful, and it smashed towards the martial king's chi gate. No. Don't. On the ground, looking at the direction Lu Changtian's hand was pointing at, the man's face suddenly changed, and fear flashed across his face. Chi gate, a type of chi formed when a martial cultivator broke through to the martial disciple realm. It was similar to the chi vortex formed when one broke through to the foundation establishment stage in the cultivation world. However, the difference was that the chi stored in the two was different. What martial cultivators stored was elemental energy, while what cultivators stored was spiritual energy. Their spiritual energy was of superior quality. Once the chi gate was broken, it meant that this cultivator had reached the end of his path. Bang! No matter how the man called for help, he was still slower than Lu Changtian's punch. Furthermore, it happened in an instant, and the other 5 had no time to react. The punch accurately landed on the man's chi gate. Following a muffled sound, a stream of scarlet blood flowed out from the man's mouth. The moment the chi gate was broken, more than half of the man's chi gate disappeared, and his entire person became dispirited. Bastard! At this moment, everyone regained their senses. Unfortunately, it was too late. Now that the chi gate was broken, there was nothing they could do. This kind of strength. Long Yaoyang, who was watching from afar, saw the scene that happened in an instant. Other than shock, he could not think of anything else. Even the greed in his heart was extinguished after seeing Lu Changtian's strength. This kind of strength is on par with the old ancestor. No. He's even stronger than the old ancestor. Hiss, thinking of this, he sucked in a mouthful of cold air, and his face became even more shocked. Revered martial artist. At this moment, he understood why his son was so obedient and stayed by Lu Changtian's side. Since this person called that woman mistress, wouldn't that mean his master's cultivation is even stronger? Thinking of this, he turned to look at Hui Yun, who was still recovering, and his expression became complicated. Cough cough, feeling his qi gate dissipating and his cultivation gone, his eyes were filled with the color of death. I'm crippled. He could not believe it. A second ago, he was still participating in the crusade, and in the next moment, he became an inhuman. What a joke. Did he regret it? Regret, the man really regretted it. If he knew that the opponent's cultivation was so strong, he would not have gotten involved in this mess. Prepare yourself. Kacha. The sound of bones breaking could be heard. The man's chest caved in, and his vitality completely dissipated. A martial king died just like that. In less than a minute, another martial king died an unnatural death. Including this person, there were 6 martial kings who died at the hands of Lu Changtian. This number was very terrifying. Although a martial king's cultivation was not considered to be in the upper echelons of the nation, their status was not weak either. Now that 6 martial kings had died, this was no laughing matter. Looking at the bloodstains on Lu Changtian's face, in the hearts of the crowd, he was a demon. Some martial kings and even martial emperors could not help but retreat when they saw the man killed. This scene made the crowd understand that they could not get involved in this mess, because they would die. As for the thoughts and expressions of the crowd, Lu Changtian did not care, nor did he want to care. He stood up and looked at the remaining 5 people. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly, and a demonic and bloodthirsty smile flashed. It's your turn. Looking at Lu Changtian's demonic smile, among the 5 people, a man's heart was already filled with fear. He was afraid. Cultivation was not easy, and he should cherish it. After cultivating for so long, it was not worth it to die here. Kill, avenge old 6. As for the man's words, the leader did not care at all. In his opinion, since his brother was killed, he naturally had to avenge it. However, he had never thought about who was the one who had caused this outcome. Very good, that's how it is. I admire, and I like it. Lu Changtian liked the courage of the 5 people very much. Without wasting any time, he moved again. His target was naturally still a martial king. Don't even think about it, although Lu Changtian's methods had been figured out, the difference in cultivation was obvious. No matter how smart he was, it was useless if his cultivation could not catch up. Using the butterfly steps, his figure disappeared in front of the crowd again. At this moment, the crowd was panicking. They were afraid that Lu Changtian would disappear, because every time Lu Changtian disappeared, it meant that their brother had died. TSK, with such a weak cultivation, you dare to be greedy for my things? Are you worthy? Lu Changtian's voice came from behind a martial king. The man was shocked. He subconsciously moved his feet, wanting to escape from Lu Changtian's demonic claws. However, the moment the man subconsciously tried to escape, a hand reached out from behind and grabbed his neck. Die. Just like that, a one-sided massacre began. Chapter 1082. Kacha, bang, another martial king was killed by Lu Changtian. This kind of one-sided killing caused the onlookers to shudder. This kind of one-sided killing had not happened for a long time. No, it could even be said that it had never happened before. In the eyes of cultivators, this kind of one-sided killing was undoubtedly a method of the demonic path. It was extremely cruel. Normally, when this kind of thing happened, the self-proclaimed righteous cultivators would unite against the enemy. Whether they had a grudge or not, they would unite. Of course, only they themselves would know whether they were truly eradicating the demonic path. Of course, it might be because the strength of these people had threatened their existence, so they could not tolerate it. At that moment, the killing continued. Lu Changtian didn't stop after killing 2 people. In his heart, the 6 people in front of him had come out when Huiyun was recovering. It meant that they were going to die. Quick, back to back. We can't let him take advantage of us. The leader spoke. The remaining 3 people did not hesitate. Their bodies flashed and they quickly came behind the leader. The 4 of them tacitly stood back to back and looked around. Although this method was very stupid, it was still somewhat useful. At the very least, the moment the enemy appeared, they would be able to stand out. However, they seemed to have overlooked one point. Lu Changtian's strength had far surpassed theirs. Although this method was useful, it was useless in front of absolute speed. Seeing the 4 people like this, Lu Changtian's face was still calm and composed. His expression was filled with killing intent. Is it useful? After muttering to himself, his figure flashed again. This time, his target was still the martial king. His figure flashed quickly and he used the butterfly steps. His entire body seemed to be floating in the air and dancing gracefully. His movements were graceful and untraceable. The moment you stood out, your end was already decided. This is the price. Karma is reincarnation. Since you have planted the seed, you must bear the consequences that you cannot bear. The quiet air was filled with Lu Changtian's voice. It was sometimes far and sometimes near. It seemed to be near everyone's ears and sometimes far away. Facing the strength that Lu Changtian displayed, the 4 people were completely flustered. Their minds were tense and they did not dare to blink. It was as if they were afraid that they would not be able to wake up in the next moment. Tendo, who will be spared by the heavens? This is your fate. The voice sounded in the martial king's ears. Suddenly, the man turned his head in shock. Lu Changtian's figure had appeared out of nowhere. That pair of ice-cold eyes was something that the man would never forget for the rest of his life, because they were too cold, without a trace of emotion. I was wrong, The man wanted to beg for mercy, but as soon as the words left his mouth, his voice stopped. It wasn't that he didn't want to beg for mercy, but that he couldn't open his mouth. A pair of hands were strangling his neck like a pair of pliers, making him unable to break free even if he wanted to. Die. The 4 of them were back to back, but in the next moment, the remaining 3 felt that something was missing from their backs. They turned their heads and saw that one of their brothers had disappeared. How is this possible? Sensing that something was amiss, he looked around and saw Lu Changtian's silhouette appear in the distance. The person in his hand was none other than their 4th brother. Narrowing their eyes, one of the men looked flustered. He quickly left the group and walked towards Lu Changtian. Sir, please let go of my 4th brother. Today's matter is my fault. If I had known that you had such strength, I wouldn't have dared to disrespect you even if I had the guts. Plop, as he spoke, the man arrived in front of Lu Changtian. To everyone's surprise, he slid down and knelt on the ground with a pleading expression. 3rd brother, you. Seeing their 3rd brother acting like this, the expressions of the other 2 changed. They seemed to have thought of this situation. Among the 6 of them, their 3rd brother's relationship with their 4th brother was the best. Their 3rd brother was even willing to exchange his life for their 4th brother. Now that old 4th had been captured, the rest of the people naturally thought of his actions. But in this situation, without his existence, they would be at a disadvantage. Of course, they didn't have a perfect advantage in the first place. 1st brother, 2nd brother, I'm sorry. I can't watch C die in front of me. You should know that C and I had a hard time surviving. The man who was called 3rd brother had no other choice but to apologize to his 2 brothers behind him. Bang, 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 the sound of kowtowing resounded in everyone's ears. Lu Changtian naturally saw it. As for C, who was being carried by Lu Changtian, he was crying silently. His tears fell like rain. Third brother, 4th brother, don't worry. Even if you really die today, don't be afraid. Walk slowly on the road to the Yellow Springs. Wait for me. I won't let you be alone. This is your 3rd brother's promise to you. It was a very touching scene. It had to be said that Lu Changtian was also touched. Looking at the two, Lu Changtian almost wanted to let them go for a few moments. But when he thought of his previous actions and Huiyun, his sympathy disappeared instantly. Karma is the cycle of reincarnation. It's the law of the heavens. It can't be changed. So, accept your fate, let them go. Just as Lu Changtian was about to kill the two of them, a weak voice sounded from behind him. Grand Master, you. Lu Changtian turned his head to look at Huiyun. He was stunned. Huiyun's decision made Lu Changtian a little confused. Let them go. Although their previous actions were a little unforgivable, but I was moved by their previous sentiments. However, you can avoid the death penalty, but you can't escape punishment. Although you don't need to say anything, you must join the Lin family and serve the Lin family for 100 years. After 100 years, you will be returned. Are you willing to do that? Lu Changtian, regarding Huiyun's decision, Lu Changtian was speechless. After all, this was what she meant. However, after thinking about it, he understood. After all, the Lin family was too weak right now, and he couldn't always be around. Although the Sword Sect had merged, the Sword Sect was too weak. Compared to martial kings and martial emperors, the Sword Sect? Ants, after thinking it through, he turned his head to look at the two of them. His originally cold expression softened a little. How about it? This method is only beneficial to the two of you. If you agree, nod and swear the Tendo blood oath. If you don't, agree, we agree. Without waiting for Lu Changtian to finish speaking, the two of them nodded repeatedly. Their faces were full of joy. This was the best result. Amen, good. This sovereign will believe you this once. You should understand that if you dare to lie to me, I will chase you to the ends of the earth. Believe me. I don't think of myself as a good person. If you dare to go against today's decision and betray the Lin family, not only you, but even your family and friends will be hunted down by the Lin family. From then on, there will be no more days of peace. Chapter 1083. Looking at Lu Changtian's cold eyes, they understood that if the two of them really betrayed the Lin family, the end result might be like what Lu Changtian said. Their family and friends would be hunted down endlessly and there would be no more days of peace. After understanding, the two of them raised their heads and said to the sky without hesitation, I, Yun Mengtian and Wu Qingbing, swear the blood oath of Tendo again. From now on, I will join the Lin family and be the servants of the Lin family. I will not have the slightest disloyalty. If I violate this oath, I will be struck by lightning and die a horrible death. Boom, as soon as the two of them finished their oath, Tendo seemed to have sensed it. The originally clear sky was suddenly filled with rolling thunder clouds. This phenomenon only happened for a moment and only the two of them could hear it. The others didn't know. Ruo Lin and Lei definitely understood that Tendo had acknowledged their oath. Furthermore, Tendo would monitor the two of them at any time for no other reason than Lin Rei's existence. As for Lin Rei, Tendo was very nervous. Lin Rei's cultivation made even the Tendo in the heavenly fate realm afraid. Even though Lin Rei's cultivation was less than 1/10 of his original, just a strand of Saint's intent was enough to make him kneel on the ground. It wasn't because of his strength, but because of the pressure. If Ruo Lin and Lei's original body were here, the entire heavenly fate realm would probably collapse in an instant. There was no other reason other than Lin Rei's original body was too powerful. He was so powerful that this world couldn't withstand the appearance of Lin Rei's original body. Seeing that the two of them had finished their oath, Lu Changtian didn't continue to pursue the matter. He let go of Wu Qingbing and let him fall to the ground. He was grimacing in pain. Seeing that Wu Qingbing was out of danger, Yun Mengtian stood up and went to his side to check if he was injured. It's okay. He's fine. He's just frightened. He'll be fine after some time. Seeing Yun Mengtian's concern, Lu Changtian snorted coldly. Yes. I understand. Murmuring, he helped see up and retreated to the side. Protect them well. After I'm done with them, we'll leave this place. He had caused such a big commotion here and even killed people from the Lu clan. If he was alone, he wouldn't be afraid even if people came. However, Hui Yun was with him. He couldn't bear the consequences. Oh. The two of them answered and came to Hui Yun's side. Like the left and right protectors, they protected Hui Yun. As for Long Ming, after taking the elixir given by Lu Changtian, his injury was not serious. Although the place where he was injured before was still aching faintly, it was much better than before. After regaining the ability to move, without waiting for Lu Changtian to say anything, he automatically went to Hui Yun's side to protect her. Seeing the three of them like this, Lu Changtian felt a little relieved. He looked away and turned his head to look at the remaining two martial emperors. Although he had let Yun Mengtian and Wu Qingbing go, it did not mean that the two in front of him were safe. Before, because of Hui Yun, no one could stop him now. Lu Changtian's only thought now was to finish the battle quickly. He stretched out his hand and a suction force came. A long spear in the distance seemed to be summoned and flew to Lu Changtian's front. He grabbed it tightly. The originally terrifying aura that made people tremble doubled again. Accept your judgment. As a cultivator's battle technique, Lu Changtian could not use the full power of the battle technique, but he could still use the moves. The powerful transformation blurred everyone's vision. The moment the spear was used, the surrounding spiritual chi of heaven and earth surged with Lu Changtian's spear. Some powerful warriors could naturally feel the changes in the surroundings. However, they could only feel the surging of Yuanli. They could not sense the spiritual chi at all. It could even be said that they could not sense the existence of the spiritual chi. It could be said that they had never heard of the spiritual chi at all. The two of them had long regretted Lu Changtian's strength. If a warrior had fear in his heart, he had already lost. Die. He used the butterfly steps. Not to mention a lotus flower with each step, this dreamlike speed was something that they and even martial god could not comprehend. Two spears were waved. The simple and fierce spearhead appeared in front of the two before they could react. Not good, retreat, PFFF. The leader had just finished speaking when he heard the sound of flesh being pierced. He quickly retreated and looked to the side. A long spear had already pierced that person's body. It went from the chest to the back. It was a perfect heart-piercing chill. If a warrior's heart was pierced by a spear, it meant that his life had come to an end. Plop, looking at the dead body, Lu Changtian emotionlessly pulled out the long spear. The body was instantly thrown a few meters away by the force. He raised his head and looked at the remaining person. A smile flashed across his face. It's your turn. No. No, you're a demon, you. Looking at Lu Changtian's smile, in his eyes, it did not look like a human smile. It was a demon, a death god, you. He did not speak anymore. At this moment, he left this hellish battlefield. He did not want to stay here for a second, a minute, or even a second. He turned around and ran as fast as he could. He did not want to stay here any longer. Looking at the man's fleeing figure, Lu Changtian sneered. His expression was full of contempt. Do you think you can escape? After saying that, he put the long spear behind his back and used the butterfly steps. Facing this kind of cowardly ruin, facing this kind of ant who had no intention of fighting, Lu Changtian felt that killing him would be an insult to himself. However, even if it was an insult, Lu Changtian had no choice but to kill him. This was because he had touched his own reverse scale and touched Lin Rei's reverse scale. Whoosh, PFFF, fast, ruthless, and accurate. Without any hesitation, the spear was a heavy weapon. The fleeing man's figure suddenly froze in place. His eyes widened in disbelief and regret. He lowered his head and looked at the tip of the spear that came out of his back. Other than regret, there was only regret in his heart. Although the man looked young, he was actually 70 years old. Because of his cultivation, his age did not change much. It was not easy for a martial artist to reach the martial king realm. But now, his 60 years of hard work had been destroyed because of his greedy decision today. Pfff. He spat out a mouthful of blood. His face turned pale and his body became weak. If it was not for the power of the spear, he would have knelt on the ground. You brought this upon yourself. Lu Chengtian's voice came from behind him. Isn't it good to be a martial king and enjoy the glory and wealth of the world? Why did you court death? He wanted to say something, but he couldn't. Lu Chengtian was right. Why did he have to come out and seek death? Remember to be a good person in your next life. Remember, there are some people you can't afford to offend. Pfff. Lu Chengtian pulled out his spear and ignored the man. He knew that if he was hit by the Silent Thunder Spear, there would be no chance for him to survive. The Silent Thunder Spear's destructive power was too great. Even the current Lu Chengtian could only use this move. If Lin Rei used it, there would not be a complete corpse left. The battle ended just like that. And this move was destined to make Lu Chengtian's name famous in the Destiny realm. Chapter 1084. After the massacre, Lu Chengtian didn't stop. He walked over to Huiyun's side and squatted down to check on Huiyun's injuries. Not bad. Master's pill is truly miraculous. I didn't think that just one pill would be able to heal your injuries to about 70 to 80%. Lu Chengtian was truly shocked by the medicinal power of the pill. Rei gave it to you? Huiyun also heard that the pill she ate was given by her son. She felt an inexplicable warmth in her heart and a smile flashed across her face. It was as beautiful as a peach blossom in full bloom. Lu Chengtian nodded. Yes, but now is not the time to discuss this. The waters of Guangyun Empire are deeper than I thought. Therefore, for your safety, I have to send you to a safe place. Only then will I be able to focus on investigating the massacre of the Lin family. Long Ming agreed. Yes, madam. Let's hurry up and leave. If Senior Lu is alone, it might be fine. But if we stay here, at most will be a corpse or a flag for the enemy. We won't be of any use. Yes. Although the other two didn't understand what Lu Chengtian meant, they knew that whatever Lu Chengtian said was right. They agreed without any conditions. Huiyun was also a smart person. She naturally understood what Lu Chengtian meant. She nodded. Since that's the case, let's hurry up and leave. She got up and prepared to leave. Long Ming naturally followed behind Huiyun unconditionally. As for Long Yaoyang, he didn't have much to say to his father. Although Long Yaoyang doted on him a lot, this was all because Long Yaoyang owed his mother. Don't follow me. Long Ming seemed to understand Long Yaoyang's next move. He didn't wait for Long Yaoyang to make a move. But we're already home. Why don't you go back and take a look? He looked at his son with hesitation. He didn't know how to face Long Ming. Should he feel nostalgic? Owe him? Compensation? Perhaps both. He didn't look back, but the trembling of his body showed that he really wanted to go home. However, when he thought of the open and covert fights between his brothers in the family, he didn't want to go back. He was too tired. He didn't want to spend his life on those illusory things. It was meaningless. You can go back. As for that home. At this point, Long Ming stopped. His expression was extremely complicated. No one knew what he was thinking. As for that home, whenever I miss my mother, I will go back and take a look. After saying that, he didn't stay any longer and jogged all the way to catch up with Lu Chengtian and the others who were already far away. As for Long Yaoyang, he stood there in a daze. Looking at his son's back, he couldn't help but feel sad. He's grown up. I hope you can learn what you didn't learn before there. Learn how to survive in this world and learn how to protect yourself. As for that home, Father will help you guard it. As for those people who are eyeing the position of the family head, it's time to clean them up. A cold light flashed in an instant. Long Ming didn't want to know about Long Yaoyang's thoughts. Of course, even if he knew, he wouldn't appreciate it. He knew his own ability. It was fine for him to establish a small family in a small city to manage, but for a city like Guangyun Empire to let him manage a huge monster, Long Ming, knew his own limits. Lu Changtian and the others left Guangyun Empire's capital with more than 30 subordinates. The news of Lu Changtian's display of invincibility and the death of the Lu family's young master, Lu Tianxiang, spread instantly. Some spies from other empires also spread the news to the other 3 empires and the various dynasties. In a luxurious courtyard in the eastern part of the capital, a middle-aged man was standing in front of a lake. His face was gloomy and his body was full of murderous intent. Beside the middle-aged man was an old man in black clothes. His expression was the complete opposite of the middle-aged man's. His face was as calm as still water, without the slightest ripple to speak of. It was as if the various states of the world had nothing to do with him, and even this world had nothing to do with him. Family head Lu, I, Hong Si, understand your intention in inviting me here today. I heard that the Lu family's young master, Lu Tianxiang, was killed. So, don't hide it. 5 million black gold. That's a fixed price. If it works, I'll take it. If not, you can find someone else. But I believe that no one would dare to accept a person who can easily kill a martial emperor. Who knows if that person has the support of a powerful sect? What do you think? Am I right? The old man said to himself. He didn't notice that Lu Qingzhou's face was getting gloomier, but there was a trace of helplessness in his eyes. That's right. With such strength, there must be a sect behind him. So, the Lu family naturally couldn't take revenge next year. Although the Lu family was a first-class family in the Guanyin Empire, but, in front of a sect, even a first-class family could only be destroyed. The old man behind him didn't feel the pain. He was born as an assassin and took orders to kill people. His cultivation was so terrifying that it made people tremble in fear. People gave him the nickname, Human Demon. Because Hong Si was close to madness from killing people, he was like a killing machine, ignorant and unaware. None of the people who were targeted by Hong Si could escape. In the end, they would all return to reincarnation. Looking at Lu Qingzhou's silence, Hong Si frowned and asked again, how about 5 million black gold? Do you agree? My time is very precious. If I delay any longer, I'll have to pay on time. Lu Qingzhou, the originally serious atmosphere changed instantly after Hong Si said that. If Lu Qingzhou hadn't held back, he would have burst out laughing. F***ck, alright, starting from this second, the fee will be 5 black gold per second. The old man said. F***ck, are you serious? Why don't you open a black shop? Finally, Lu Qingzhou spoke. I don't care. Anyway, I've already started charging from the last moment. If you don't want to pay more, then make a decision quickly. Do you think everyone is like you, sitting at home all day doing nothing and ordering people around? Lu Qingzhou wanted to refute and say that he didn't, but when he thought of the charge, he didn't say much. Can we discuss this matter? 500 black gold is indeed, it's a fixed price. I'm also a small business. Besides, you have a big business. Do you lack this small amount of money? Lu Qingzhou didn't want to talk about Hong Si anymore. He was afraid that he couldn't help but rush up and beat him up. But when he thought of Hong Si's cultivation, he held back. If he really did fight, the final result would only be him getting injured. There was no doubt about it. It's a fixed price of 5 million black gold. Hong Si spoke again, and this time, Hong Si wasn't joking like before. Looking at the change in Hong Si, Lu Qingzhou was stunned and nodded helplessly. Okay, 5 million black gold it is, but the premise is that I must see the head of the bastard who killed my son. Otherwise, this deal is off. Okay, deal. Chapter 1085. Since you've issued a mission and I've accepted it, you're my employer. From this moment onwards, I'll report my progress to you at any time within a month. It's been a month. If you want to kill your own people, you should know my rules. I only have a month. Regardless of whether I succeed or not, I won't continue to pursue you. You have to give me the last bit of money. You. Hearing this, Lu Qingzhou's expression changed, and anger rose from his heart. Don't look at me like that. This has always been my rule. Remember, you chose me, not me. Since you have chosen me, you have to abide by my rules. Otherwise, the freight for this business is cut, and you have to pay for my delay, Hong Si said bluntly. Others might be afraid of Lu Qingzhou's identity, but Hong Si was not afraid at all. Even if his daughter was the Emperor Lord's woman, so what? He did not believe that the Emperor Lord would make an enemy of a martial arts grandmaster expert for a woman. Obviously, for the leaders, this idea was not a wise move. Lu Qingzhou didn't say anything. He just stared at Hong Si with his eyes that were as big as a donkey's. Hong Si trembled under his gaze. For a long time, it was as if Lu Qingzhou's gaze could swallow Hong Si alive. All right, I'll take my leave now. Time is precious, and I don't want to waste any more time here. Bastard. Looking at Hong Si, Lu Qingzhou was stunned. The corner of his mouth twitched, and his expression was very rich. He had seen shameless people before, but it was the first time in his life to see someone as shameless as Hong Si. He cursed in his heart, but his face showed a smile. He said, "Okay, you go. I will wait for your good news." Lu Changtian, who was thousands of miles away, did not know that Lu Qingzhou had issued a hunting mission, and that the other party's cultivation was a martial arts grandmaster expert. However, it was understandable. The hatred of killing one's son was irreconcilable. Anyone would be like this. If it was Lin Rei, it seemed that Lin Rei was even more terrifying than Lu Qingzhou. After all, they had already tried it before. Jinan's death had driven Lin Rei crazy. Those who were related to Jinan's death were all annihilated by Lin Rei. Guangyun Empire's next B-class city. Lin Rei and Blood Spirit Sky traveled day and night without rest. After a few days, they finally arrived at a place not far from the place where he had the energy method last time. Along the way, Lin Rei walked and stopped, feeling the places where his aura had once erupted. Although it was a bit fuzzy now, Lin Rei could still feel it. At the city gates of Luo City, Xue Lingtian stopped when he saw the city. He was no longer in a hurry like Lin Rei. Blood Spirit Sky's actions caught Lin Rei's attention. He frowned slightly and turned to look at Blood Spirit Sky. When he saw Blood Spirit Sky stop, his expression froze. He asked, "What are you doing?" "Big brother, let's rest for a while. We haven't eaten anything in the past few days. Even if you want to get there quickly, you have to be careful. Even if you get there now, if you don't have a good spirit, do you think you have any confidence in dealing with those people? We're already in the territory of the Guangyun Empire. If we go any further, we'll reach the capital of the Guangyun Empire. I've heard that there are martial gods there." As he spoke, a strange light flashed through the sky. Guangyun Empire? Listening to Blood Spirit Sky's introduction, Lin Rei wasn't very clear. During this time, he had been worried about his mother's safety and hadn't paid attention to his surroundings at all. That's right. Martial God is very strong. Why don't you rest for a while and tidy up before we move? Lin Rei's eyes stared straight at Blood Spirit Sky. Although he said that, he had long wanted to stop and pay attention. After all, there were 2 children on his back. Even if he didn't eat, the 2 children wouldn't eat. During this time, other than eating some jerky, the 2 children didn't eat a single bite when it was hot. For a growing body, this process was very cruel. Blood Spirit Sky and Lin Rei looked at each other. Lin Rei understood Blood Spirit Sky's thoughts, but when he thought about how his mother might be in danger, he couldn't help it. "Forget it, let's rest first." He looked at the 2 children and finally made a decision. "Yes, I've decided long ago." Hearing Lin Rei's decision, his voice was filled with joy. "Let's go." Rolling his eyes at Blood Spirit Sky, he walked towards Luo City. In Luo City, Blood Spirit Sky was forced to turn into a small snake again. Lin Rei stayed in his arms, while Min Rongrong and Min Tianyu followed beside Lin Rei, taking small steps. After this period of training for the two of them had already gone out and entered the martial disciple realm. Of course, the cultivation method was different, and the realm was naturally different. Min Rongrong cultivated the cultivation method, and Lin Rei used his own strength to help Rongrong open up a few meridians. To be honest, Rongrong should be considered a cultivator now. If it was like Lu Changtian, who was originally a martial artist of this world, then if he wanted to become a cultivator, he would have to cultivate to the martial god realm. However, Rongrong was different. She was not a martial artist, so she cultivated the cultivation method from the beginning. As for Min Tianyu, what Lin Rei gave him was a cultivation method that could only be cultivated by martial artists in this world. Although it was self-created, he believed that even if it was self-created, it was still much stronger than any cultivation method in this world. Min Tianyu, on the other hand, was quite hard-working. Not only did he enter the martial disciple realm in a short period of time, he even broke through to the third level of the martial disciple realm. Min Tianyu's efforts were all seen by Lin Rei. Looking at the two of them, Lin Rei nodded, "Order whatever you want to eat in a while. After this meal, we shouldn't be able to eat these for a while." When the two of them heard this, they raised their heads and looked at Lin Rei with sincere expressions. "It's fine. With Master, Rongrong is not afraid." "Me too, sir." That's good." Lin Rei was quite satisfied with their response. F***CK, why didn't you ask me? In his arms, Blood Spirit Sky said unhappily. "Scram, you think you can mistreat yourself?" Lin Rei didn't know about others, but if Blood Spirit Sky brought him along, then this world was probably abnormal. He choked on his words and finally gave up helplessly. He obediently shut his mouth. He didn't want to offend Lin Rei right now. Otherwise, the consequences would be very serious. Blood Spirit Sky asked himself that he still couldn't bear Lin Rei's anger. In the restaurant, Lin Rei brought the two children and sat down. He handed the menu to the two of them and let them order. When Blood Spirit Sky saw Lin Rei handing the menu to the two children, his figure turned into a red light and disappeared from Lin Rei's arms. Arriving in front of the two of them, his gaze fell on the menu and he kept pointing at what Min Tianyu wanted to eat. Blood Spirit Sky's actions completely fell into Lin Rei's eyes. In this regard, Lin Rei helplessly shook his head and ignored Blood Spirit Sky. Chapter 1086. Lin Rei and the others quickly finished their meal. Originally, the Blood Spirit Sky wanted to stay here for one more night, but Lin Rei naturally refused. When he thought that his mother might be in danger, he couldn't bear it any longer. Because of this, Lin Rei kept threatening the Blood Spirit Sky with the Tsang Dragon. As soon as the Tsang Dragon appeared, the Blood Spirit Sky's arrogance was instantly extinguished by Lin Rei. Just like that, Lin Rei and the others once again set foot on their journey. This time, Lin Rei was even faster and even used the dragon subduing step. However, using the dragon subduing step at his current realm consumed too much energy, but Lin Rei couldn't care less. Huiyun naturally didn't know what Lin Rei was doing. She also didn't know that her son was rushing to the place where she had an accident. At this moment, Lu Changtian brought Huiyun and the others to a mountain range. The safest place was in the mountain range, especially where Lu Changtian was now. This place was located at the bottom of a valley. Behind them was a cliff and there was only one path in front of them. If a powerhouse chased after them, they wouldn't be able to reach this place unless they could fly. The Blue Cloud Mountain Range was the most famous mountain range in the Guangyin Kingdom. It was also a training ground for some sections. Here, there were demonic beasts and criminals who committed serious crimes. It could be said that this was a training ground specially opened by the sects for their disciples. Although it was full of danger, the scenery of the Tsang Cloud Mountain Range was undeniable. If it were on planet Aqua Blue, it would probably be no match for a 5A scenic spot. There were mountains, rivers, and forests. These were all standard features. Most importantly, Lu Changtian felt a suffocating aura here. He believed that with this aura, breaking through to the martial god realm wouldn't be a dream. Entering the martial god realm would instantly transform into the nascent soul realm and condense a nascent soul. However, very quickly, this thought was forcefully suppressed by Lu Changtian. It was not because of anything else, but because of the aura he felt earlier. He vaguely felt that Lin Rei would come soon. Therefore, he forcefully suppressed his desire to cultivate here. He wanted to return to the capital of Guanyin Nation, not only to wait for Lin Rei's arrival, but also to investigate why the Long family and the sect behind him wanted to make a move against the Lin family. What was even stranger was that he did not believe that the emperor of the Guangyun Empire was unaware of the sect's influence. Either that, or the empire was behind this matter. Although it was only a guess, the possibility was very high. Lu Changtian's eyes flashed as he looked at the flashes behind him. Then, he walked towards the other one. After entering the cave, there wasn't the slightest bit of darkness inside. Instead, it was bright, and it wasn't as damp and cold as he had imagined. On the contrary, it was warm and comfortable. At the top of the cave, there were 3 luminous pearls the size of a fist. This kind of treasure could be said to be hard to find even with money. Of course, this was only an ordinary item and was useless to cultivators. Below the luminous pearls, Long Ming sat cross-legged, circulating his cultivation technique to heal the injuries he had suffered. Hearing light footsteps, Long Ming frowned, but soon relaxed. Previously, he had warned not to disturb him if there was nothing important, so naturally, his subordinates could not come in. Therefore, it was not difficult to guess. He stopped cultivating and opened his tightly closed eyes. The first thing he saw was Lu Changtian. As expected, he thought to himself, then a smile appeared on his face. He got up and walked towards Lu Changtian, saying, "What's the matter?" He went straight to the point without any nonsense. He knew Lu Changtian's character. Usually, unless there was something important, he would not look for him. "I have to leave for a while. During this time, you guys stay here. With a martial emperor in charge, there shouldn't be any problems. It's been hard on you during this time. Take advantage of this time to heal your injuries. Perhaps your opportunity will come soon. As for what opportunity it is, it's not convenient to talk about it now. You will know when the time comes." Looking at Lu Changtian, Long Ming was stunned. Then, he came back to his senses and asked, "You're leaving? When? How long will you be gone for?" A series of questions, but Huazhong did not ask about the opportunity at all. Lu Changtian was really stunned by this. However, this question did not make Lu Changtian stunned for long. "I'm going to the capital to wait for someone. Also, there are some things that I haven't figured out yet. I need to figure them out. You also understand that bringing you along will only be..." At this point, Lu Changtian fell silent. As for what he did not say, he believed that a smart person would know. "I understand." Long Ming nodded. Even if Lu Changtian did not say so, he would not go with him. He knew that he was not strong enough. Just like the previous incident, to put it bluntly, the document issue was caused by him. If it were not for his lack of strength, he would not have bothered with the previous incident. "In that case, I'll have to trouble you to take care of Master's grandmother. As for food, if you encounter any powerful demonic beasts, you can let them do it." In the end, Lu Changtian reminded him twice before leaving. As for Long Ming, when Lu Changtian walked to the entrance of the cave, he could not help but ask, "Help me take a look at the Long family. I heard that because of the existence of the Lu family, the Long family has not been doing well during this period of time. If possible, please take care of them." Regarding this request, Lu Changtian nodded. In any case, after returning, he planned to make a trip to the Long family. If possible, he did not mind eliminating the threat of the Long family. Nodding his head in response, he used the butterfly steps and disappeared into the valley. Lu Changtian, who was far away from the valley, did not know that just as he left, in another flash, Huiyun, who was in the midst of recovering, opened her tightly closed eyes. Her face was full of sighs. She lightly opened her red lips and sighed, "It seems that I still have to increase my strength. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to deal with the previous situation." Thinking of what happened before. If it wasn't for the appearance of her son's troublesome figure and the appearance of Lu Changtian in the end, she was afraid that she would have already reunited with her husband. Thinking about it, Huiyun felt a lingering fear. Of course, she was not afraid of death, but when she thought about her husband who had been missing for many years, her son who had not yet married and had not yet become a grandmother, she was filled with the desire to live. Become stronger. At this moment, Huiyun only had this thought, because only by becoming stronger could these things be realized one by one. Forget it, I should recover from my injuries first. As for the actual improvement. Thinking about her age, even if she improved, it wouldn't be much better. She couldn't help but feel disappointed. The more she thought about it, the more irritated she became. In the end, she chose to throw her worries to the back of her mind and closed her eyes to recover. At this time, she recovered well. Although the pills she had eaten before had melted, a large portion of the medicinal strength had not been refined and was stored in various parts of her body. The cave fell silent. Chapter 1087. In the capital of Guangyun Empire, Lu Changtian had returned. This was something that no one had expected. After all, he had caused such a big commotion in the empire and even killed Lu Qingzhou's son. No matter what, it was a disgrace to the empire. Now that Lu Changtian had returned to the capital, his mentality had changed completely. He felt much more relaxed. Perhaps it was because Huiyun and Long Ming were no longer with him, the burden on his shoulders was much lighter. After entering the city, Lu Changtian did not stop at all. He asked passers-by for the location of the Long family and used the butterfly steps. His figure disappeared in an instant. No one knew about it. In the courtyard of the Long family was lifeless at this moment. There was no prosperous atmosphere of a big family at all. Even the guards of the Long family were leaning on the door frame and chatting with passers-by. The passers-by had long been accustomed to this situation. Everyone knew in their hearts that the Long family had been in this state for a long time. From the moment the daughter of the Lu family became the imperial lord's woman, the Lu family began to attack the Long family in all aspects, especially the Long family's warriors. Every Long family warrior who went out was bound to be seriously injured or dead when they returned. The Long family wanted to fight back, but when they thought of the powerful existence of the imperial lord, the Long family finally chose to swallow their anger. After all, a family that watched a woman become stronger was not long-term. The Long family was waiting. They were waiting for the woman to lose. That would be the time for the Long family to fight back. However, 2 years had passed. 2 years was not a long time, but it was also not a short time. The Long family, who had originally swallowed their anger, had completely lost the will to fight back. They originally thought that their opportunity would come when the woman lost, but now? Now that 2 years had passed, the woman's momentum was getting better and better. This made the Long family not know what to do for a while. Lu Changtian came to the front of the Long family's gate and saw the guards chatting with passers-by. This strange scene stunned Lu Changtian. F***ck, did I come to the wrong place? When this scene appeared, Lu Changtian subconsciously thought that he had come to the wrong place. However, when he looked up and saw the 2 words, Long family, on the plaque, he denied his previous thoughts. But this Long family in front of him was a little different from what Long Ming said. He thought about it for a moment, but he was still unable to make sense of it. Thus, he turned around and caught sight of a passerby. With a smile plastered on his face, he stepped forward and stopped Zhang Xian. Brother. What's the matter? The passerby stopped and looked at Lu Changtian. Isn't this Long family a big family in the capital? But why are the guards? Shuk. Before Lu Changtian could finish speaking, the passerby gestured for him to keep quiet. He looked around and then slowly said, you must be an outsider. N. Lu Changtian nodded in response. As expected. The passerby had an as-expected expression on his face. Then, he spoke again. The Long family that you're talking about is from 2 to 3 years ago. They're not happy now. Although the Long family is still eyeing the title of a big family, they have been suppressed by the Lu family for the past 2 years. If it weren't for the fact that the Long family has a strong foundation, they would have disappeared from the capital long ago. Lu family? Hearing the passerby's words, he thought back to what Long Ming had said about the Lu clan. He nodded in understanding. All right, thank you. At this moment, Lu Changtian understood. After all, he was once a city lord. He still had the ability to do so. Seeing the current situation of the Long family, Lu Changtian let out a long sigh. Forget it, I'll just help the Long family. With that, he walked towards the Long family openly. Of course, no one in the Long family could stop him. What are you doing? Just as Lu Changtian was about to enter the Lin family, the guard who was chatting with the passerby turned around and instantly appeared in front of Lu Changtian. He instantly drew his sword and placed it in front of Lu Changtian, blocking his path. Is the Long family's residence a place where you can enter as you wish? The guard spoke again. At this moment, the guard's appearance and aura were completely different from before. Interesting. The guard's change was too great. How could a person who chose to be dispirited have such a huge change in aura in an instant? Unless these people had received orders to put on an act. Lu Changtian did not speak and just stood there. He slightly frowned and said, I said, are you deaf? I asked you, who are you and why have you come to my Long family's residence? Perhaps because his voice was a bit loud, it attracted the attention of the passersby. At this moment, Lu Changtian finally spoke, I'm looking for Long Yaoyang. Little brother, can I trouble you to lead the way? Long Yaoyang? Hearing Lu Changtian say where he came from, the guard felt that this name was quite familiar, but he couldn't remember where he had heard it before. Long Yaoyang is, SSS, as if he had thought of something, his expression greatly changed and he sucked in a mouthful of blood. He raised his head and glared at Lu Changtian, completely exploding with anger. Bastard, you don't have the right to know the name of the Long family's patriarch. Brat, if you continue to be so ignorant, you will die. Do you understand? To Lu Changtian's surprise, the man did not make a move and continued to persuade him. Rather than saying that it was persuasion, it was more appropriate to say that it was a verbal threat. Looking at the young man's performance, Lu Changtian had a different thought. If a guard could do this, then what about the entire Long family? I'm looking for Long Yaoyang, I'll have to trouble you to inform him. Of course, you should know Long Ming, he was the one who asked me to come. He said that I can only say it when I see Long Yaoyang. Young. Master Long? The guard was shocked again. His eyes widened as he looked at the man in front of him. He wanted to know who this person in front of him was. He actually knew 2 people that could not be offended in the Long family. That's right. Lu Changtian did not deny it. Then please wait a moment, I'll go and report it. As for whether or not the patriarch wants to see you, then. The guard gave an apologetic look. It's fine, you just need to report it. I believe that Long Yaoyang will see me. Lu Changtian still had this bit of confidence. Of course, Lu Changtian originally planned to sneak into the Long family, but in the end, he refused. Since he had chosen to help the Long family, then this was a must. Previously, he had already revealed his strength. He believed that if he appeared in the Long family now, the other large families in the capital would soon know. At that time, one could imagine how those families would think of the Long family. As for what those large families would do after they believed him, Lu Changtian was too lazy to think about it. Lu Changtian's goal was to let those people come. It was better to deal with them all at once than one by one. Of course, more importantly, he wanted to use this matter to see the attitude of the Cloud Wind sect and the Empire. He believed that those large families in the empire would more or less have the shadow of the empire and the sect behind them. Chapter 1088. In the master's room, Long Yaoyang was sitting in front of his desk with his eyes closed. No one knew what he was thinking about. Ta-ta-ta, suddenly, he heard hurried footsteps. Long Yaoyang, who was originally calm, frowned. His face was filled with displeasure. Didn't I say not to disturb me if there's nothing important? Are you not going to listen to me anymore? Without waiting for the person outside to speak, Long Yaoyang released his cultivation. His voice was mixed with essence force as he rushed outside. Pfff, the sound of someone vomiting blood came from outside the door. The person outside the door was none other than the guard of the Long residence. However, the guard wasn't in a good state. He was stunned and his face was filled with bitterness. The corner of his mouth was scarlet red. Plop. Without hesitation, he knelt on the ground and said softly to the door, "Master, there's a man outside the door. He wants to see you." The door was silent for a while. The guard outside the door couldn't stop trembling. As a member of the Long family, he knew the master's temper very well. If he spoke, it would be fine, but if he didn't speak, then, "Looking for me?" Just as the man was extremely frightened, Long Yaoyang's voice came from the room and entered the guard's ears. Suddenly, his heart relaxed. Although he was still afraid, he said, "Yes, master." The person outside the door said that he knows you and young Master Long Ming. He also said that if he tells you that he knows young Master Long Ming, you will know who he is. You, boom. The originally closed door instantly opened. Long Yaoyang's figure appeared beside the guard in an instant. Where did he come from? Without waiting for the guard to react, Long Yaoyang lifted him up from the ground and grabbed him tightly with both hands. He looked nervous. This was completely different from the calm and dignified master in the guard's mind. Seeing Long Yaoyang's current state, the guard couldn't help but be stunned. He quickly said, He's outside the door. Before he finished speaking, he felt his body relax. His vision blurred. The door appeared in his vision, but Long Yaoyang's figure disappeared. Seeing this scene, the man didn't know what to say. Although he didn't understand why the family head was so nervous, he faintly felt that the person outside the door wasn't simple. After coming back to his senses, he turned around and rushed out of the door. As a guard, his task of passing on the message had been completed. He had to return to his post, even though the Long family's situation wasn't very good right now. The news of Lu Changtian going to the Long family's gate quickly spread to the ears of the big families in the capital. Although they didn't know why Lu Changtian went to the Long family, they had a bad premonition when they thought of Lu Changtian's strength and the fact that Long Ming was Lu Changtian's subordinate. Lu Changtian didn't know what the major families were thinking. Even if he did, he wouldn't go back because there was no need to. Lu Changtian sat leisurely in front of the dragon gate and looked at the passers-by. He's here. In his perception, Long Yaoyang's silhouette appeared and a smile appeared on his face. He looked over and saw Long Yaoyang walking out. Seeing Lu Changtian's gaze, Long Yaoyang looked over. When he saw that it was really the person he was thinking of, he didn't notice that there were people around and went up to greet him respectfully. He saw Lu Changtian's battle just now. That strength and aura could definitely suppress the major families in the capital. Let's go in and talk. He stood up and ignored the crowd as he walked in front of Long Yaoyang into the Long mansion. As for Long Yaoyang, he didn't have any objections when he saw Lu Changtian walking in front of him. Moreover, the other party was strong and his son was his subordinate. He had to be respectful. Sighing in his heart, he followed behind Lu Changtian. Along the way, Long Yaoyang didn't even dare to breathe loudly. The moment Lin Rei and the others entered, the guard returned to his post and closed the door. In the courtyard, Lu Changtian looked at the scenery and smiled. Not bad, I didn't expect the Long family's decorations to be so rich. Just these corals alone should be considered priceless treasures. Eastern Sea? Yes, deep in the Eastern Sea. Long Yaoyang quickly replied. He was even more impressed with Lu Changtian. He was able to guess the origin of the corals with just one look. Lu Changtian didn't know what Long Yaoyang was thinking. If he knew, he would probably burst out laughing. Lu Changtian knew about the Eastern Sea, but he had never been there. As for the origin of the corals, he was just casually guessing. He didn't expect that he would be right. Of course, he didn't say much about this. He continued to wander aimlessly. Lu Changtian didn't say anything, but Long Yaoyang couldn't help but think about the injuries Long Ming suffered before he left. Senior, my son, is my son okay? He stopped and turned to look at Long Yaoyang. He's okay. He's recovering now. It won't take long for him to be as good as new. If nothing goes wrong, his cultivation will improve. Thank you, Senior. Hearing that his son was fine and his cultivation would improve, Long Yaoyang was very excited. This was the best result. If he left Long Ming in the Long family, he wouldn't be able to improve his cultivation for the rest of his life. You don't have to thank me. Lu Changtian waved his hand. Since your son is my subordinate, I won't mistreat him. Furthermore, if his cultivation improves, it means that he will be able to protect the people I want to protect. Yes. Hearing this, Long Yaoyang nodded. However, he was still grateful to Lu Changtian. Although he had thought of snatching Lu Changtian away, he was still very grateful. He was afraid that the atmosphere would suddenly become quiet. The two of them didn't speak and the atmosphere would become awkward. Time passed slowly. Being stared at by Lu Changtian, Long Yaoyang couldn't take it anymore. This feeling was very uncomfortable, especially when he was stared at by someone as strong as Lu Changtian. Thinking about his previous actions, he felt a little guilty. Senior, I wonder why you're here this time. Long Yaoyang probed. You should know that Long Ming left for a mission, right? He went straight to the point. Hearing this, Long Yaoyang frowned. Indeed, when Long Ming left, he knew about the mission, but it had something to do with this. My master is from the Lin family. The woman who was with me before is my master's mother. This time, I'm here because the Lin family is being hunted down. Tell me what you know. I want to know why the Cloud Wind Sect attacked the Lin family. Logically speaking, the Lin family wouldn't have offended the Cloud Wind Sect in such a place. Looking at Lu Changtian, Long Yaoyang's face turned ugly. To be honest, he also wanted to know what happened. When he first received this mission, he also felt that it was strange. He sent people to investigate, but in the end, the people he sent out to investigate silently appeared in front of his house. Of course, when they were discovered, they were already cold corpses. Regarding this scene, he understood that it was a warning to him not to meddle in things that he couldn't handle. Ever since that incident, he stopped investigating. The strength of the other party had exceeded Long Yaoyang's expectations. He couldn't guarantee what would happen to the Long family if he continued investigating. Now, Lu Changtian's brazen words made Long Yaoyang hesitate. If he hadn't seen Lu Changtian fight, perhaps Long Yaoyang would have already killed him when he asked this question. But now, he had seen Lu Changtian's cultivation. He was a martial honor. He was at the same level as Fengqiuzi, or even stronger than Fengqiuzi. The Cloud Wind Sect was too powerful. With the martial god in charge, Long Yaoyang was hesitant. Lu Changtian wasn't stupid. Lu Changtian saw Long Yaoyang's hesitation and he also understood why Long Yaoyang was hesitating. After all, anyone would hesitate when faced with this kind of problem. If he hadn't become Lin Rei's disciple, he would have avoided this matter at all costs. I understand your concerns, but have you thought about it? Since I dared to investigate, I naturally have no worries. As for the martial god? If the martial god dares to make a move, I guarantee that he will die miserably. Making a move against the Lin family means making an enemy of my master. My master doesn't mind making a move against such people. At the same time, he will tell all the cultivators in the Destiny realm that no one can touch the Lin family. No matter who it is, the martial god is no exception. Long Yaoyang was speechless. He naturally wouldn't take these words seriously. After all, the other party was the martial god. Making a move? Do you think the martial god is a cabbage? Of course, Long Yaoyang naturally wouldn't express such thoughts. Although Lu Changtian was powerful, he still couldn't believe that his master, Lin Rui, could defeat the martial god. Just like what Lu Changtian said, Lin Rui would kill the chicken to warn the monkey. It's understandable that you don't believe it. After all, you are born in the Destiny realm and your vision is naturally low. You don't know that there is another world outside the Destiny realm. The cultivators, there are people that the martial god can't compare to. Lu Changtian didn't hide the fact that Lin Rui wasn't from this world. Anyway, Lin Rui didn't mind. Destiny, there is another world outside the Destiny realm? Long Yaoyang was shocked. This was the first time he heard of this. He only knew that the martial god would ascend to the immortal realm, but he had never seen such a thing. In the history of the Destiny realm, there weren't many people who could successfully ascend. This isn't something you can know. You only need to know that the martial god may be untouchable in your eyes, but in my master's eyes, he is no different from an ant. Long Yaoyang was speechless. Speechlessness was the only thing Long Yaoyang wanted to express. However, even if Lu Changtian's master wasn't the martial god, he was at least a martial saint. Long Yaoyang didn't hesitate. After all, the Long family was in a difficult situation. If he didn't find a backer, the Long family would disappear from the empire soon. The Long family's 1,000-year legacy would be ruined in his hands. This was something he couldn't allow. Long Yaoyang raised his head and looked at Lu Changtian. His hesitant eyes became firmer. Can I trust you? Perhaps influenced by Long Yaoyang's serious expression, Lu Changtian's face became serious. He nodded and said, "Trust me. Otherwise, your son wouldn't have recognized me as his master. You should know your own son's personality. I don't need to tell you this. If it wasn't for my lack of ability, do you think I would have made it this far? If it wasn't for my lack of ability, do you think the Guangyun Empire would be so quiet after I caused such a huge commotion in their capital?" Lu Changtian was speaking the truth. Although he didn't understand why the empire was so quiet, it should have something to do with Lin Rui. Although he didn't mean it, it was true that he understood how powerful the empire was. Now that the empire didn't seem to have any intention of making a move, this was what made him suspicious. "Tell me what you know, and I'll protect your Long family. How about it?" "I'm not afraid to tell you that I originally didn't want to protect the Long family. It was Long Ming who begged me to help the Long family. Otherwise, do you think I would be wasting my breath with you?" Lu Changtian didn't care at all. Without a doubt, with Lu Changtian's cultivation, as long as he used the Long family as a threat, would Long Yaoyang dare not speak? Long Yaoyang wanted to refute, but this was the truth. If Lu Changtian insisted, he could only compromise. Thinking about this, Long Yaoyang let out a long sigh. His face was filled with helplessness as he said, "All right." Lu Changtian's expression became serious. He found a clean place to sit down and listened quietly. "Actually, I've heard about this as well. I heard that the Lin family used to be a very powerful family. Their strength surpassed everyone else, and even the 4 great empires weren't a match for them. Perhaps it was because they were afraid of the Lin clan's strength, but for some reason, an expert led the 4 great empires and the various great clans and sects to attack. In the name of the demonic Tao, the Lin clan was destroyed. I thought that the Lin family had been destroyed, but for some reason, the Cloud Wind sect received news that the Lin family wasn't completely destroyed. Although the current Lin family, speaking to their, Long Yaoyang paused and glanced at Lu Changtian, but he didn't see any expression on Lu Changtian's face. He continued, although the current Lin family is like an arrow at the end of its flight and can even be said to be an ant-like existence, the Lin family's strength in the past has caused them to feel fear in their hearts. Even though the current Lin family is nothing to fear, they won't allow such a thing to happen. As the old saying goes, if you don't remove the roots when you cut the grass, it will grow again when the spring breeze blows. That's why this happened. At this moment, Lu Changtian fell silent. He didn't think that the Lin family would have such a thing. He was certain that even Lin Rui didn't know that his family was so powerful in the past. It was so powerful that it caused the entire Destiny realm to feel fear. So, the Empire has also made a move? Lu Changtian asked. There was no emotion in his voice. On the side, Long Yaoyang's body trembled. Although Lu Changtian didn't show any emotion, it was because of this that he was afraid. That should be the case. However, it seems that only the Cloud Wind Sect and the Guangyun Empire know about the Lin family. As for the other empires, even if they know, they probably won't do anything. After all, the current Lin family. Long Yaoyang's voice trailed off and he didn't continue. Chapter 1089. Hearing this, Lu Changtian roughly understood the intentions of those sects. However, even so, it wasn't a reason for them to harm the Lin family. Martial God? Sects and empires all had martial God on the surface, but Lu Changtian didn't think that was true. After all, no one wanted to show their full strength. Thinking about martial God and his own cultivation, Lu Changtian frowned and hesitated. With his cultivation as a martial saint and the God realm techniques he learned from Lin Rui, he wasn't afraid of martial God Lu Changtian at all. However, martial God was at the nascent soul stage in the self-cultivation realm, so the difference between them was obvious. Moreover, martial God of Emperor Dynasty was at the late stage of martial God. His strength was even more different from that of a martial God at the early stage. Normally, martial God at the late stage could beat up 4 martial God at the early stage, while martial God could beat up martial saints. However, against Lu Changtian, who wasn't even a martial saint yet, Lu Changtian would definitely be beaten up. Senior, we have to think about this at length. After all, they all have martial God, your cultivation is a bit, not enough. Although he didn't dare to say this, it was the truth. Of course, in Long Yaoyang's eyes, it was indeed not enough. However, Lu Changtian was sure that if he became a martial God, it wouldn't be impossible for him to fight martial God. Even if there was a difference between them, if Lu Changtian wanted to leave, martial God wouldn't be able to stop him. After all, Lu Changtian's footwork was taught by Lin Rui. Although he had only reached the early stage of the butterfly steps, it wasn't something that the martial God of this world could compare to. Lu Changtian understood Long Yaoyang's meaning. Lu Changtian didn't have a chance, so he just smiled and didn't say anything else. Now that the whole story was clear, the next step was to prepare for the trial. It wasn't just the Cloud Wind Sect, all of the large families in the capital had to be punished. Even the imperial family was no exception. Anyone who had acted against the Lin family, regardless of whether they had intended it or not, deserved to be killed. Not for anything else, but to let the Lin family have peace and prevent the previous events from happening again. The Lin family had suffered great losses, they wouldn't recover in the next 20 to 30 years. Therefore, Lu Changtian had to make his move. At the very least, he had to kill them so that they wouldn't dare to do anything to the Lin family. After making his decision, he raised his head and looked at Long Yaoyang. Killing intent flashed through his eyes, but it disappeared in an instant. Perhaps it was because the two of them were so close that Long Yaoyang could feel the terror of Lu Changtian's killing intent. Long Yaoyang was very clear that this bastard was planning to kill them. What I mean is, give me the power, strength, name, and location of all the families in the capital. As for the imperial family, there was martial God in the imperial family, so Lu Changtian didn't dare to act rashly. At the very least, he had to make arrangements first before making his move. We'll talk about the imperial family after I've dealt with these families. Feng Qiuzi, find a reason to ask him out. As for the rest, just leave it to me. Anyone who has a grudge against the Lin clan must die. Who else? These words expressed the Lin clan's attitude, expressed Lin Li's attitude, and even more so, expressed his attitude. The Lin family wasn't something that ants like them could touch. Anyone who touched them would die. Seeing that Lu Changtian had made his decision, Long Yaoyang wanted to refuse, but for some reason, he nodded and agreed. Okay, I'll go back and take care of it. Tomorrow, at the latest, the things you want will appear in front of you. Okay. Seeing that Long Yaoyang didn't hesitate, Lu Changtian was still a bit confused. After all, this wasn't good for the Long family's future. Of course, this was under the condition that Lu Changtian really lost. If Lu Changtian really lost, or even died, then the Long family would be pushed to the center of the storm. They would undoubtedly become the target of everyone's attacks. However, there were pros and cons. If Lu Changtian really succeeded and wiped out all the major families in the capital, then the Long family would be the final beneficiary. To put it bluntly, if the imperial family was also wiped out by Lu Changtian, then wouldn't the Long family have the final say in the empire? As for Lu Changtian, he completely believed that Lu Changtian wasn't interested in the throne at all. To be honest, he didn't care about it at all. Thinking of this, Long Yaoyang couldn't help but laugh. Lu Changtian rolled his eyes at him. He understood what he was thinking, so he didn't stay any longer and turned to leave. As for his location, he believed that with the Long family's power, they would be able to find him without him telling them. Outside the Long family's residence, Long Yaoyang felt that he had solved a problem. What he needed to do now was to wait for the list of names to arrive so that he could start killing. On the street, Lu Changtian wasn't in a hurry to go to his residence. Instead, he walked on the street like an ordinary person. He looked left and right like a curious child. The smile on his face never faded. I didn't expect that there would be so many good things in the capital. There are even things from the depths of the Eastern Sea that I haven't seen before here. Tisk, tsk, tsk. Just this pearl alone is probably more money than I can earn in my entire life as a city lord. Looking at the fist-sized pearl in front of him, he couldn't help but click his tongue. However, now that he was a revered martial artist, these things weren't worth much. If they were exchanged for money, then maybe he would take them away. After all, cultivation required money, cultivation methods, companions, and land. Money was the most important, so one could imagine how important money was. After looking for a while, Lu Changtian continued walking. At first, the quality of the things was very good, but as time passed, he didn't think that these things were good anymore. Standing in front of a clothing store, his body paused for a moment, then he continued walking. The corners of his mouth rose slightly, and a smile appeared on his face. 1,000 meters away from Lu Changtian, a man in black was looking at the roof, staring at Lu Changtian. However, the moment Lu Changtian paused, the old man's face changed and he immediately hid, as if he was afraid that Lu Changtian would discover him. What's going on? Did he discover me? In the dark, when he thought of Lu Changtian pausing, he looked unsure. If Lu Qingzhou was here, he would definitely discover that this was the assassin he hired, Hong Si, who had the strength of a martial arts grandmaster. No, impossible. I'm so far away. Even a martial arts sage can't discover my existence. Hong Si seemed to be very confident in his concealment skill. Thinking of this, Hong Si breathed a sigh of relief, then got up and continued to follow. Little did he know that after Lu Changtian left Long Mansion, he vaguely felt that someone was following him. He thought it was an illusion, but when he was in front of the clothing store, Lu Changtian really found that someone was following him. The moment his body came to a stop, Lu Changtian sent out his senses. He was sure of Hong Si's existence. As for his cultivation base, he could tell at a glance. Interesting. A martial arts grandmaster assassin. Who could it be? Chapter 1090. Ignoring him, Lu Changtian continued to wander around. Since he wanted to follow him, Lu Changtian was not surprised. Since he had nothing to do now, he might as well take it as walking his dog. Just like that, Lu Changtian's first dog walk began. Along the way, Lu Changtian walked and stopped. He was like a foodie, eating all kinds of things. As long as he saw something delicious and fresh, he would eat non-stop. Of course, the most important thing was to see how patient the person behind him was. Of course, Lu Changtian would check if the person was still following him every time he stopped for a while. After all, it would be boring if the person did not follow him. But fortunately, that person's willpower was strong, and he didn't hesitate at all along the way. Lu Changtian admired his indomitable spirit. Along the way, Lu Changtian did not stay idle. He walked toward the East City Gate. Although he wanted to have some fun, he also wanted to ask who asked him to follow a martial arts grandmaster expert. Long Yaoyang? Obviously, it was impossible. Long Yaoyang knew his cultivation and would not send a low-level cultivator to kill him. As for a martial venerable expert, it was not that Lu Changtian looked down on him, but that the Long family did not have the ability to do so. Unless they informed the Cloud Wind Sect and asked them to help, but was that possible? Thinking about it, the only person he had offended in the capital recently was the Lu family. Thinking of this, Lu Changtian's expression flashed with a murderous intent. Thinking of the Lu family, he could not stop his murderous intent. The Lu family must have been part of the Lin family. Various thoughts appeared in his mind. Lu Changtian did not stop and soon arrived at the city gate. Behind him, Hong Si saw that Lu Changtian was about to leave the city and was stunned. He was a little confused. However, thinking of the 5 million black gold, these doubts disappeared. As the saying goes, money makes the world go round. An assassin like Hong Si had long been driven by money. After leaving the city, he used the butterfly steps and rushed forward quickly without any sense of direction. His purpose was to capture Hong Si. As for where to go, it was fine as long as there was no one around and it was an empty space. If they were to fight in the city, it would probably cause quite a commotion. What's going on? Did they discover me? Upon seeing Lu Changtian's sudden appearance outside the city, Hong Si grew suspicious. Forget it, I don't care anymore. So what if his cultivation is strong? Could he be a martial saint? With this thought in mind, he increased his speed and rushed in the direction Lu Changtian had disappeared. At this moment, Long Yaoyang from the Long family didn't stop after Lu Changtian left. He used all the power that the Long family could muster to gather information on the various families in the capital. As a large family, who didn't have spies if they wanted to survive in this ruthless capital? Once the news was sent out, the spies hidden in the various big families started to search crazily. This time, Long Yaoyang didn't care if his spies were exposed. These spies were bought from a young age and trained. Long Yaoyang didn't care if they were exposed or died. Their existence was to gather information, so it was their duty to do so. As for what happened to Lu Changtian, Long Yaoyang had no idea. Even if he did, he wouldn't worry for Lu Changtian. A martial great master dared to mess around in front of a revered martial artist. Either he was crazy or he was an idiot, a pure idiot. At this moment, 100 miles away from the capital, Lu Changtian, who was running quickly, suddenly stopped and turned to look in the direction of Hong Si. The smile on his face was even brighter. "Old man, come out." In the dark, Hong Si, who had followed Lu Changtian here, immediately hid when he saw Lu Changtian stop. However, when he heard Lu Changtian's words, he was stunned but didn't go out. Lu Changtian was amused by Hong Si's action. "Damn it, you're a martial arts grandmaster. Do you really think I'll lie to you? You think too highly of yourself." When he saw that Hong Si didn't come out, his smile became even brighter. "Oh, sure. In that case, I'll invite you out. However, it's very expensive for me to take action." Then, without waiting for Hong Si to speak, he rushed in the direction where Hong Si was hiding. He slowly increased his speed and rushed out quickly. In an instant, he was in front of Hong Si. The moment Lu Changtian's cultivation erupted, even a martial arts grandmaster wouldn't be able to detect Lu Changtian's figure. Otherwise, the butterfly steps would be useless. If Lin Rei was here and used the dragon subduing step with his cultivation as a martial saint, Hong Si wouldn't even know how he died. Oh no. When Lu Changtian suddenly appeared, Hong Si's expression changed. Years of assassination experience drove him to turn around and escape. However, could he escape? Obviously, it was impossible. Before Hong Si could react, Lin Fan reached out and grabbed Hong Si's neck. He released his cultivation and his origin energy rushed out and wrapped Hong Si in it. Don't talk too much. It's very expensive for me to take action. Looking at Hong Si, Lu Changtian looked as if he expected better from Hong Si. You, Hong Si was shocked. He knew that Lu Changtian's cultivation was higher than his, but he didn't expect Lu Changtian's cultivation to be so high that he couldn't even fight back. Stop talking. Tell me, who sent you here? Long Yaoyang? Or the Lu family? Although he knew that Long Yaoyang wouldn't dare to do it, what if? Kill me if you want. I'll be your grandson if I blink my eyes. Oh. You have quite a character. Hong Si's reaction really surprised Lu Changtian. However, he smiled casually and said, "Old man, you must be an assassin. Your concealment skill is very special. If my cultivation wasn't higher than yours, I'm afraid I would have fallen into your trap." Hong Si was speechless. You don't want to talk, right? Lu Changtian didn't think that he was a patient person. Seeing that Hong Si didn't speak, he wanted to be silent, so he raised his hand and punched Hong Si's chest. A punch landed on Hong Si's chest, causing his chest to cave in. Oh. You didn't vomit blood? Lu Changtian was more and more surprised. His fist wasn't soft, but it didn't make Hong Si vomit blood. This made Lu Changtian feel a little frustrated. Well, you're strong and tough. In that case, then. Before he finished speaking, he raised his hand and rushed toward Hong Si's arm. Boom, crack, the sound of bones breaking was heard. Hearing this sound, Lu Changtian felt a little better. F***CK, do you really think I'm a pushover? He wanted to break free, but his opponent's hand was like an iron clamp. He couldn't fight back at all. He didn't even know why he couldn't control the elemental energy in his body. It was as still as a pool of stagnant water. Tell me, who sent you here? Tell me and I'll let you go. I promise I won't do anything to you. How about it? Chapter 1091. Lu Changtian was speechless. Hong Si's stubbornness made Lu Changtian's head hurt. He had seen people with guts, but he had never seen someone so gutsy. He didn't even scream when his bones were broken, although Lu Changtian didn't care about that. Old man, you forced me to do this. Lu Changtian had given up on making Hong Si talk. He raised his hand and hit Hong Si's other arm. Crack, the sound of bones breaking was heard. Hong Si's face was pale, and his forehead was covered with cold sweat. His body was trembling because of the pain, but he didn't even scream. Lu Changtian was stunned. Well, you're awesome. Without further ado, he broke Hong Si's limbs first. Anyway, Lu Changtian didn't expect Hong Si to talk. Crack, crack, Hong Si's limbs were broken, and he fainted because of the pain. Sometimes, death is an extravagant hope. He reached his hand into his hair. When he pulled it out, there was a silver needle in his hand. As Lin Rei's apprentice, Lu Changtian had to learn the basic pharmacology. He had mastered all the acupoints in the body when he became a warrior. The Baihui acupoint was located at the intersection of the midline of the head and the tips of the ears. It was mainly used to treat headaches and other diseases. However, it had its advantages and disadvantages. Sometimes it could cure diseases, but it could also hurt people. The Baihui acupoint might not be a big deal for doctors. However, for those who didn't know the depth of the acupoint, if the silver needle was pierced too deeply, the pain would be unbearable for ordinary people. Stab, Lu Changtian didn't check the silver needle at all. He stabbed it into Hong Xi's Baihui acupoint. He didn't stab it lightly on the scalp, but directly inserted the whole needle into the Baihui acupoint. Hong Xi, who was in a coma, let out a scream. He looked up to the sky and howled. It looked tragic, but it was actually very tragic. Fresh blood gushed out from the Baihui acupoint and flowed down from his head along his face. With his drooping temperament, he looked as if half of his body was paralyzed. After the blood-curdling screams, he lowered his head and opened his eyes. His originally clear eyes were now blood-red, and coupled with his current appearance, he looked extremely terrifying. Bang! A fist appeared and made contact with Hong Xi. Of course, the sound of bones breaking was inevitable. Since Hong Xi refused to speak, there was no point in keeping him alive. Tisk, tsk, tsk. A martial ancestor realm expert has died just like that. His many years of cultivation and hard work have been wasted just like that. If I were you, I would have said something the first time you asked. Although reputation is important, don't forget, if you lose your life, what's the point of reputation? More importantly, even if you don't tell me, I can still come out. In the capital, I have only done one thing. I killed the son of the Lu family, Lu Tianxiang. If his father doesn't take revenge, I will look down on him. Unfortunately, he sent you, a martial arts grandmaster, here. What's even more unfortunate is that I happen to be a martial venerable, so, by the way, I forgot to tell you. I originally wanted to destroy the Lu family, so. Your death doesn't have much meaning. As soon as he said that, Hong Xi, who was lying on the ground, glared at Lu Changtian. His expression was full of regret. He didn't expect that his persistence meant nothing to Lu Changtian. He also didn't expect the Lu family to be so deceitful. What happened to the martial arts grandmaster realm expert? What happened to not being strong? Damn it, everything was bullsh**. Hong Xi cried in his heart. Yes, he cried. He had failed, but this time, it was not a failure, but a complete death. Thinking about what he had done in the past, a bitter smile appeared on his face. Forget it. If I die, then so be it. Anyway, I have lived for so long. It's enough. As he spoke, Hong Xi seemed to have come to a realization. He closed his eyes and waited for death to come. Yo! You are ambitious. You don't even know how to beg for mercy. You give up just like that? Lu Changtian found it funny. It was the first time he met such a person. Lu Changtian's words reached the ears of the desperate Hong Xi. He, who had thought that he would die, opened his eyes again and looked up. The moment he saw Lu Changtian's amused smile, Hong Xi was stunned. F***ck, big brother, what are you trying to do? Either give me a quick death or let me go. Why do you keep going back and forth? I'm going to be killed by your murderous aura and your bad taste. Big brother, I beg you, kill me. To be honest, Hong Xi couldn't stand this kind of repeated torture. If his previous killing methods were considered torture, then Lu Changtian's was simply beyond the scope of human beings. Even if the Grim Reaper came, he would be terrified to see Lu Changtian's torture. With a pleading look, Hong Xi looked at Lu Changtian and spoke. However, blood kept flowing out of the corner of his mouth, so his words were a little unclear. Big brother, please kill me. Don't torture me anymore. I'm a killer. Usually, I'm the one who tortures others. If you do this, I will be scared. Tears mixed with blood flowed down from the corners of Hong Xi's eyes. He looked very miserable. It was too horrible to look at. Lu Changtian was speechless. Hong Xi opened his mouth, but his words were obviously asking for death. Damn it, am I so terrifying? Thinking about it, he came to Hong Xi and squatted down to look at him. The smile never disappeared. Old man, although you didn't tell me who sent you, it made me very unhappy. I wanted to kill you, and I did. But just now, I thought of a very interesting thing. Hong Si was stunned. Lu Changtian didn't care about Hong Si and continued talking. Hong Si wanted to bang his head against the wall. Look, you're a Wuzong. It's not easy for you to cultivate for so many years. If you work for me, I'll make sure you break through to Martial Venerable within a year. I'll make sure you break through within 10 years. And you don't have to die now. Tell me, isn't this a good idea? You won't kill me? For the first time, Hong Si was shocked. After recovering from the shock, he looked at Lu Changtian with a questioning look. Although he didn't have much contact with Lu Changtian, he knew Lu Changtian's character very well. He didn't think that Lu Changtian was kind to him, unless there was something valuable on him, such as cultivation. He looked up and looked at Lu Changtian with mixed feelings. He had to admit that Lu Changtian's conditions were very attractive. Even he couldn't resist. Tell me, what are your conditions? I don't think you'll be so kind. Chapter 1092. Oh, smart. I like to talk to smart people. He looked at Hong Si as if he had guessed correctly and continued, what I want is simple. I'll heal your wounds, and the price is very simple. I'll kill people in the capital in the next 2 days. What you have to do is to help me kill people. Of course, you can refuse, but you have to think about it carefully. Killing people is your job. Now that such a good opportunity is in front of you, will you give it up? Kill people? In the capital? Killing people was a common occurrence for an assassin. However, Hong Si, who was one of the top assassins, hesitated. It was not because he was afraid of killing people, but because killing people in the capital of the Guanyin Empire would be like hanging himself. He was looking for death. With Lu Changtian's cultivation, he still needed the help of a martial arts grandmaster. One could imagine how powerful the person he wanted to kill, the person's family was. Moreover, they were in the capital. If they fought, would the Emperor of Guanyin intervene? Although the Emperor of Guanyin's cultivation was unknown, the Guanyin Empire had martial god, the martial arts sage. What do you think? Do you want me to kill you, or do you want to stay and help me kill people? Of course, there are many benefits. For example, I can help you break through your cultivation and become a martial venerable. Understanding Hong Si's thoughts, Lu Changtian tempted him again. Hong Si hesitated and was in a dilemma. He was in a dilemma. On one hand, he agreed to Lu Changtian's conditions. On the other hand, he was afraid. So what if he was an assassin? Assassins also had families. The Guanyin Empire was very powerful. If he died because of this, his family would not be spared. However, if he did not agree, he would die now. With the ability of his wife and children, they would not survive in this chaotic world where the strong preyed on the weak. There's no harm in agreeing. I can guarantee that you'll be fine. After all, your decision will bring you to the peak of life. What do you think? Hong Si was speechless. There were good and bad things in this situation. With Lu Changtian's cultivation, it was impossible that there was no powerful person behind him. Lu Changtian did not look like a loose cultivator, especially his footwork. If he did not have a powerful inheritance, how could a loose cultivator have such a level of footwork? As he thought about it, he observed Lu Changtian's behavior. Finally, Hong Si's hesitant heart made up its mind. Damn it, I'm going to do it. Either way, I'm going to die. Maybe it's really as he said. If I succeed, wouldn't I have a chance to become a martial saint? Once he made his decision, he raised his head with a resolute expression, indicating his decision. Trust me, you've made the right decision. Lu Changtian already knew what Hong Si was thinking just by looking at his expression. He took out the healing pill and said, "Eat this. Although it won't let you recover instantly, it won't hurt as much." Without waiting for Hong Si to reply, Zhang Xian grabbed the pill with one hand while his other hand appeared above Hong Si's head at lightning speed. Using his origin energy, a suction force appeared from his palm. Bear with it, it's going to hurt. Sizzle, under Lu Changtian's operation, a silver needle was slowly pulled out from the Baihui acupoint. Of course, the process was very painful. Although Lu Changtian had never experienced it before, he could tell from Hong Xi's behavior. Cold sweat kept dripping from his forehead. He grimaced in pain but did not scream. His face was so pale that he did not look like a living person. Lu Changtian was very satisfied with Hong Xi's behavior. If Hong Xi made a sound during the process of pulling out the needle, Lu Changtian would be disappointed. Whoosh, after the silver needle was pulled out, the blood flowed out even more uncontrollably. Lu Changtian's expression changed drastically. He said in a deep voice, "Quick, eat it." Hong Xi did not hesitate. Since he had made up his mind, what was the point of hesitating? He reached out and grabbed the pill in his hand. After glancing at it, he stuffed it into his mouth. The pill melted as soon as it entered his mouth. It turned into a gentle energy and began to heal the wounds on Hong Xi's body. Circulate your origin energy and guard your soul. Stay awake and don't pass out. Otherwise, the effect of the pill will be greatly reduced. By then, your life will be in danger. Understood. Hong Xi replied to Lu Changtian. Then he sat cross-legged and began to circulate his origin energy to recover. Time passed little by little. Soon after Hong Xi circulated his origin energy, the blood stopped flowing out of his Baihui acupoint and the wound quickly scabbed over. Hong Xi seemed to have felt the effect of the pill. He was shocked. He had never seen or heard of this kind of pill. The pain in his Baihui acupoint gradually subsided under the effect of the pill. However, it was indeed a little troublesome to heal his limbs. After all, the bones in his limbs were broken. He could not move without a period of recovery, even though he was a martial arts grandmaster. It would take 100 days for bones and tendons to heal. Even with Lu Changtian's pill, it would not be effective immediately. For this reason, Lu Changtian was very regretful. If he had known this would happen, he would have asked for help. Things would not have turned out like this. Alas, it seems that I have to think carefully before I act in the future. I shot myself in the foot this time. He let out a long sigh. Then he walked to the side and waited. With Hong Xi's current recovery speed, it would take at least a day for his broken limbs to recover a little. At the very least, he would be able to move around. In front of the gate of the capital of the Guanyin Empire, a young man stood in front of the gate with 2 children beside him. He looked up at the capital with murderous intent in his eyes. Is it here? In the air, Lin Rei felt that his spiritual body had appeared here. Although it had been some time, in the entire Destiny realm, apart from Lin Rei, Tendo was the only one who knew about spiritual bodies. Therefore, Lin Rei was 100% sure that his mother had been here and had been attacked. At the thought of this, his murderous intent surged uncontrollably. Who would dare to attack the people around him? If he attacked, he would die. What do you want to do in the capital? A voice interrupted Lin Rei. Lowering his head, Lin Rei looked in the direction of the voice. When he saw the guard at the gate, he ignored him. Or perhaps, he was disdainful. To be able to become a guard in the capital, all of them had been on the battlefield. They were especially sensitive to murderous intent. The moment Lin Rei released his murderous intent, the guard noticed it. You, the capital? What do you want? Looking at Lin Rei, the guard was not afraid at all. Perhaps in his opinion, who would dare to attack the guards in the capital? The guards of the capital were equivalent to meeting the emperor. Attacking them would be equivalent to slapping the emperor's face. Who would dare to do that? However, as luck would have it, his opponent was Lin Li. Lin Li didn't care about the emperor or anything like that at all. I'll give you 3 breaths. Disappear from my sight and I will let bygones be bygones. Otherwise, die. Chapter 1093. Yo. Someone is here to pick a quarrel. Hearing this, the guard's expression froze for a moment before he sneered. Then, he turned to look at the dozen or so other guards behind him and waved his hand. Brothers, did you see that? Someone is here to pick a quarrel. What do you think we should do? Of course we should kill him. Don't we want face? Yeah, isn't it just a stinking brat? Just kill him. Since he dares to cause trouble in the imperial capital, he should be prepared to die. Yes, Boss Long is right. See, you can do it. I'm not interested. Damn, what do you mean? Oh, if you're not interested, do you think I'm interested? At this moment, without waiting for Lin Rei to speak, the dozen or so guards began to throw Lin Rei to someone else. It was as if Lin Rei no longer belonged to them. Instead, he had become someone to be bought and sold at will. In the end, no one was willing to accept him. Lin Rei had been watching from the side. Seeing the dozen or so guards acting so presumptuously, his heart was filled with anger. His expression changed again and again. And in his arms, Blood Ling Tian was amused by the dozen or so guards that had been wiped out in front of him. The little one was overjoyed. Those who didn't know better would think that his laughing acupoint had been pressed. He couldn't stop laughing. Shut up. Blood Spirit Sky's actions caused Linley's head to hurt. He let out a low growl through divine sense, then raised his head, no longer paying any attention to Blood Spirit Sky. He stared straight at the 10 or so guards in front of him, his eyes cold and emotionless. In Lin Rei's eyes, these dozen or so guards were already dead. Very good. I gave you a chance. Since you don't know how to cherish it, then, die. As soon as he said that, his figure flashed quickly. Using 20% of his cultivation, he instantly used the dragon subduing step. He didn't use any combat techniques, just pure physical strength and spirit chi. Crack, the sound of bones breaking could be heard among the dozen or so guards who were in the middle of a discussion. The originally boisterous discussion suddenly stopped. The dozen or so guards turned their heads to look at Lin Rei. In the next moment, their pupils abruptly contracted and their breathing stopped. At this moment, before a guard, Lin Rei's hand was already wrapped around that guard's neck. At this moment, that guard's body seemed to have lost all of its bones. It was drooping down. There was no struggle, no sound of breathing, no heartbeat. All sorts of signs indicated that he was already dead. Huff huff, coming back to their senses, everyone let out a long sigh of relief. At this moment, the way they looked at Lin Rei had changed. To be able to casually kill a cultivator, this kind of power meant that he was a strong cultivator. Although they understood that there were many strong cultivators in the capital, but, so what? Who would stand up for them just for a few guards? Of course, the answer was no. Just as they thought, who would be willing to stand up for the watchdog of the empire? Unless that person had a screw loose in their head or was an idiot to begin with. Humph, you were the one who was the most talkative before. Look at you now. You'll be drunk from love forever. Let's see if you still dare to talk nonsense in front of this sovereign in the future. You even F*King crippled me. F*CK, why don't you take a look at yourself first? You're not worthy. Looking at the guard who could no longer speak in his hand, Lin Rei casually threw the corpse to the side as if he was throwing away trash. Opening his eyes, Lin Rei looked at the remaining dozen or so guards. The corner of his mouth rose slightly. A bloodthirsty smile appeared on Lin Rei's face. Why did you? One of the guards wanted to say, why did you make a move? We were the ones who made a move. Of course, before he could finish his words, Lin Rei interrupted him. The world is so big. You should go and see it. Don't think that anyone who comes here is a weakling. So what if you are a weakling? You are just watchdogs of the Empire. Do you really think that the Empire will make a move after killing you? Oh, I forgot to tell you. If the Empire doesn't give me an explanation this time, then... As he said that, he looked at the city wall of the Empire. His killing intent suddenly increased. If you don't give me a perfect reason, then there is no need for him to exist. Renewal, the law of all things. The dozen or so guards' faces turned ugly again. They felt wronged. What the F***CK? What's going on? Didn't we just say a few words? As soon as the thought came out, the man felt something on his neck. His consciousness gradually blurred. Before his eyes fell on Lin Rei, the little bit of consciousness he had left completely disappeared in the process of the man losing his life. I can't believe that I, a dignified Saint Realm cultivator, would actually kill a low-level cultivator. If this is exposed, wouldn't Lin Rei lose his face? He couldn't help but think that if this matter was heard by those people in the divine realm, they would probably laugh themselves to death. And at this moment, a memory which caused Linley's mind to become hazy began to intermittently surface in his mind. Your vigilance is quite high. I was almost discovered. At this time, Lin Rei, who was on a tree far away, was shocked. Lin Rei, who had been here for a long time, had been staring at the battle in the distance. He didn't expect that someone would look at Lin Rei's location at this time. For a moment, Lin Rei quickly hid. Roar! The diamond bear launched its final attack before it died. The entire bear's body shone with golden light as if it was destroying everything around it. However, the result wasn't that satisfying. The diamond bear died in its final effort. As for those people, they survived, but they were also seriously injured. Cough, cough. I didn't expect to meet this guy this time. What a loss. Yeah, it's just a dinner. To think that they would fight to such an extent. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, this demonic beast is dead in the end. This is also a good result, isn't it? The three people looked at each other and complained about why they had to find such a demonic beast. However, they didn't notice that Lin Rei had already reached their side. Whoosh! A long spear pierced towards one of the men. Quickly dodge. One of the men with high perception has already sensed the danger. This proves that the previous perception was not wrong. Humph, do you think I can let an injured man live under my spear? Lin Rei's movements were very fast. If these people were not injured, it would be very difficult to kill them. However, they were already injured. If he couldn't kill them, then they would really be crippled. Poof! The long spear pierced through the man's back. The man looked at the spearhead piercing through his back. He had an unwilling expression on his face, but this was already an unchangeable fact. The man's vitality was almost gone. Lin Rei turned to the next target. For them who were injured, Lin Rei could kill them very quickly. Lin Rei was like the messenger of death. He was harvesting people's lives in the night sky. You didn't die. When there was only one person left in this place, that person saw Lin Rei's face. Suddenly, he was so scared that he fell to the ground. His eyes were filled with disbelief. You didn't think that I would be alive. You must have thought that I was dead, right? How did you survive? Didn't you jump into the bottomless abyss? How can you still be alive? I don't believe it. When the man said this, he became very excited. It was as if he had gone crazy. He was crazily asking why Lin Rei was still alive. Oh, you don't need to know this. You only need to know that there are many of your companions waiting for you. However, there will be more people coming to find you later. After speaking, Lin Rei did not give that person a chance to speak. He killed the person in front of him with a single shot. This time was the same as last time. After killing people, Lin Rei disposed of them and covered the bloodstains. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for consecutively killing Foundation establishment cultivators. The host is hereby rewarded with a chance to draw a general, a chance to draw a lottery, and 10,000 spirit stones. Congratulations to the host for killing a Foundation establishment cultivator. The reward is 50,000 experience points. Congratulations to the host for increasing one level. You have reached the peak of Qi refining level 9. The host now has the ability to complete the Ecliptic Spiritual Master's test. Do you want to do the task now? The system prompts came one after another. What made Lin Ray the most excited was the general draw and the cultivation level increase. For a time, Lin Ray found a safe place and checked his information. Name, Lin Ray. Age, 14. Cultivation, Qi refining level 9. Experience, 63080200000. Spiritual roots, thunder, fire, wood, 3. Chaos spiritual roots. Talent, top-notch. Cultivation method, chaos scripture, incomplete. Devouring heavenly technique, growable. Hongmeng alchemy, entry-level. Martial technique, butterfly steps, entry-level. Stellar finger, proficient. Silent thunder spear art, high-level mystic martial technique, now practiced to the entry-level, can produce 3 lightning bolts, spiritual. Treasure, martial emperor godly spear, high-level spirit chi, growable. Equipment, cloud stepping boots, high-quality spirit chi, purple cloud robe, high-quality spirit chi, purple cloud inner armor, high-quality spirit chi, mount, red flaming tiger, chi refining level 1. Lucky draw wheel, 1 chance general draw system, 1 chance to draw a lottery. Reputation points, 100 exchange points, 100 spirit stones, 11,000. Mission, main mission, establish a sect in the next 5 years. If the mission is not completed or exceeds the time limit, the system will directly erase the mission. Side mission, within the next 5 years, he had to recruit 5 of the best disciples. Every disciple had to be top-notch. Within these 5 years, he had to help his disciples make a name for themselves in the mysterious heavenly mainland. If he didn't succeed in these 5 years, he would be killed by the system, just like the previous mission. Side mission, kill the evil spirit of the Zodiac Sage in 10 days. If the mission is not completed, the system will directly erase the mission. Side mission, go to the Fengyun sect and kill the 3rd elder Wang Shen in the next year. If the mission is not completed, the system will directly erase the mission. Pills, 30 body strengthening pills, 200 energy gathering pills, 50 foundation establishment pills, 1 marrow cleansing pill. I didn't expect that the experience points would increase to 200,000 when I'm only at Qi refining level 9. It seems that I have to work harder. Lin Ray was not happy when he saw his cultivation level. Instead, he felt that it was not enough and that he had to work harder. Ding dong, the system repeated for the 2nd time. The host's strength has reached the level where he can fight against the evil spirit. Do you want me to erase the body now? No, I don't have time now. Let's wait until the last day of the seal. Lin Ray did not choose to complete the mission now. Although he would level up immediately after completing the mission, the experience gained from killing people would be more. Lin Ray believed that if he killed all the people outside like this, his cultivation level would immediately rise to the foundation establishment stage. It could be imagined that Lin Ray's calculation was really perfect. Well, since the host has decided, there must be a plan for the host. However, the system wants to remind the host that if the evil spirit is not erased before the seal is unsealed, then the evil spirit will cause substantial damage to the host's mind. The host hopes that the host will consider it carefully. After that, the system went silent. Lin Ray also walked out of the place where he had just cultivated and went outside to begin the 3rd killing. Originally, there were only a dozen people who came in to hunt. Now, half of them had been killed by Lin Ray. The next one would be even smoother. Lin Li found the right direction. Activating his shadow's tepper, he began to walk at high speed in that direction. The people who came in to hunt had basically completed the mission given by the team leader. Hee, this time we will definitely be able to eat our fill. If there is some carved flower wine, then it will be even more perfect, TSK. The person who spoke was one of the people who had been hunting recently. Once he thought about drinking wine, that person's mouth would not stop moving, as if he had already drunk it. Hee, look at you. You don't have any sense of propriety. You only think about drinking all day. Don't you have anything else to do? After the person next to him heard his companion's words, his entire person became unwell. Don't just talk about it. Don't you only know how to play in the drunken flower brothel all day? Aren't you afraid of dying in there one day? The two people talked back and forth as if they were very happy arguing. They did not even notice that there was someone next to them. Hee hee, the two of you have a very good relationship. Who is it? The sudden voice startled the two people. Oh, don't tell me you don't recognize me? At this time, Lin Rei moved his face forward to let the two people see clearly. What? After seeing clearly who Lin Rei was, the two people were really startled. Why aren't you dead? One of them blurted out this question, but after saying it, the man immediately regretted it. That, brother, you see, the two of us were also following orders. In fact, we did not want to do it. It was all forced by them. Forced? Lin Rei did not believe their nonsense. For a moment, Lin Rei took out his tone and went up to shoot. After seeing Lin Rei's actions, the two people were really startled and quickly took out their weapons to resist. Their imagination was very rich, but the reality was very cruel. In the end, the two people ended up dead. After Lin Rei had the experience of killing people, he was not soft-hearted. As long as he killed people, he would basically find the key point and kill himself. A group of greedy and cowardly people. Lin Rei killed them in less than a minute and then said to the corpses. Phew, this is the memory of the mortal world. Die. Chapter 1094. The sudden appearance of his memories caused Lin Rei's movements to become sluggish. Although Lin Rei was sluggish, the others were not. Seeing that Lin Rei had stopped, they would be fools if they didn't attack. As the saying goes, take your life when you're sick. The greatest taboo in a battle was to be distracted. With a shout, a figure rushed out and arrived in front of Lin Rei. He raised his hand and thrust his blade toward Lin Rei's heart. His expression was cold without the slightest hesitation. It was as if killing someone was a common occurrence to him. Seeing that their leader was so ferocious, the others were unwilling to fall behind. As if they were injected with hormones, they raised their blades and slashed toward Lin Rei. Pfff, the sound of flesh being pierced was heard. Blood rushed out from the blade. Seeing that their opponent was bleeding, everyone's expression changed and became even more excited. Previously, they thought that Lin Rei was unreachable. But now, there was nothing to fear anymore. Just as everyone was moving, Lin Rei, who was lost in his memories, was awakened by the pain. Without wrinkling his brows, he lowered his head and looked at his chest. Drops of blood were flowing out from his wound. It was like a fountain, flowing without restraint. Looking at the wound, Lin Rei came to a realization. How long has it been since he bled? Lin Rei wasn't sure about this. With his previous body's powerful physical body, even if a hierarch realm cultivator directly slashed at him, Lin Rei wouldn't feel the slightest pain, let alone bleeding. But now? His body was weak and he didn't have the slightest strength to resist. He didn't even have the strength to truss up a chicken. The difference between the two was like heaven and earth. Looking at the blood flowing out, Lin Rei didn't care about it. He smiled bitterly. Little dragon, just you wait. Don't think that I will let you go in today's situation. Ah. In the divine realm, the little dragon who was resting suddenly woke up and sneezed. He was stunned on the spot. Holy shit, I can get sick too. Catch a cold and sneeze? This was a very important question. How could a spirit like the little dragon get sick? It was impossible for it to die from old age unless the spirit didn't have enough energy and eventually dissipated. Obviously, the last point did not fit. Otherwise, the little dragon would not have been able to live for so many years. Of course, there was also the possibility that the little dragon would be destroyed if the system was destroyed. That was the only possibility. What's going on? Is some unlucky bastard cursing me? The little dragon wasn't bothered by this question. Since it couldn't figure it out, it went back into slumber. At this moment, Lin Rei didn't know that his words had been sensed by the little dragon. At this moment, Lin Rei didn't have the time to care about these taboos. He recovered from his broken memories, and without raising his head, he waved his hand. The dozen or so guards who were already within reach instantly froze in place. With such a big commotion at the entrance of the capital, how could it not attract attention? Especially the passers-by. At this moment, the entrance of the capital was completely blocked. It was packed with people. However, there was not a single person in the area where Lin Rei was. It was for no other reason than to become stronger. It was for these people to stay and watch the show. Raising his head, Lin Rei's eyes swept across the dozen or so people who were frozen. Looking at them, Lin Rei's eyes became even colder. They were capable enough to injure him. However, he wasn't the kind of person who cherished talent. Moreover, was this group of people? Obviously not. Lin Rei's life was like this. If there was a grudge, there would be a grudge. If there was a grudge, there would be a grudge. In Lin Rei's eyes, it was all nonsense. To be able to injure me, you guys are very capable. Slowly walking in front of the crowd, he slowly tempted them. The coldness on his face became even more intense. It was as if his aura alone could freeze everyone. Unfortunately, you guys have completely angered this sovereign. Previously, this sovereign's family members were injured here. Now, it's you guys. Since that's the case, there is no need for this city to remain. My reverse scale, those who touch it will die. After saying that, his figure instantly disappeared. In merely a breath's time, Lin Rei's figure returned to his original position. However, in front of the crowd, Lin Rei's figure never disappeared. At this moment, the crowd's hearts could be said to be very interesting. Because of Lin Rei's words earlier, in their eyes, Lin Rei was a fool. There was a problem with men. He was mentally ill. There was no need for the Guangyun Empire to exist. Who the hell do you think you are? A ruler? Or a creator? Fuck, are you playing around? This thought appeared in the crowd's mind. However, they didn't say anything. Just watch the show. This was the mentality and thought of the passers-by. Regarding this, Lin Rei didn't know. Also, he didn't care to know. Ignoring the crowd's gaze, he took a step forward and walked toward the city. Holy shit, why did that person leave? That's right. Why did he leave? Didn't he say that he was going to tear down the empire? These people aren't easy to kill. What he said earlier was all bullsh**. That's right, he really is a poochie. Strange sounds rang out one after another. At this moment, the person who was speaking suddenly stopped talking. His eyes widened as he looked at the scene in front of him. Cold sweat uncontrollably appeared on his forehead. Plop, the scene in front of him exceeded his imagination. His entire body fell to the ground, trembling. His face was as pale as paper. Seeing the man like this, the crowd was puzzled. It was the man who spoke earlier. Everyone's attention was on him. Therefore, when they saw the man like this, they were puzzled. However, as more and more plopping sounds rang out, the crowd felt that something was wrong. In the end, the bloody scene appeared in front of everyone's eyes. Those who were mentally stronger were still fine and didn't express anything. However, those who had never seen blood before, men and women, fell to the ground one by one. They lowered their heads and vomited. The scene was extremely shocking. How is this possible? When? In the field, the dozen or so guards who didn't stop Lin Rei from leaving had blood spurting out of their necks like a fountain. The scene was very bloody. Strangely, the dozen or so guards were still standing there in a daze and didn't fall. Logically speaking, after a person died and lost their entire body, they shouldn't be able to stand properly and maintain their appearance when they were alive. However, now it appeared. Moreover, it was engraved in everyone's minds. They couldn't erase it even if they wanted to. Lin Rei didn't know that everyone was shocked. At this moment, Lin Rei had already walked into the city. The wound on his chest was no longer bleeding. For such a small wound, As long as he wriggled his muscles to block the wound and used his wood attribute spiritual root to heal it, it would be fine. Regarding this, as a divine venerable, no, as a saint, if he didn't know how to do this, he would probably be laughed to death. Ignoring the wound, Lin Rei raised his head and looked forward. He released his divine sense and the scene within 1,000 miles appeared in his mind. In his mind, a blue silk thread floated in the air. There were similar things around him, but there weren't many of them. Spiritual body? Looking at the existence of those blue silk threads, Lin Rei suddenly opened his eyes. His eyes flashed with joy. Sure enough, Mother came here. Chapter 1095. His original smile disappeared the moment he sensed the spirit body, and it was replaced by boundless anger and killing intent. Since the spirit body had appeared here, it meant that his mother was in danger here. In that case, everyone here could be in danger. In that case, let's go to the palace. Maybe I can find the person I'm looking for faster. I just don't know what the Emperor of the Guanyin Empire will do. Lin Rei didn't want to wait and didn't want to stay in this place. With the existence of the little golden coffin, he couldn't wait to hide in a secluded place and restore his cultivation to the Mahayana realm before ascending. Although it was impossible to ascend in the Tianming realm, at least he had the strength to not know the teleportation array and go to a higher plane to cultivate. But now, forget it, I'll go first. If it doesn't work, I'll just destroy the city. Lin Rei was very disgusted with this method. First, he didn't think he was a bloodthirsty person. Second, he didn't want to expose his identity as a cultivator here. Third, he didn't want his family to be regarded as a monster because of him. But now, if the Emperor of the Guanyin Empire didn't recognize him, the last method was the best. Thinking about it, he looked at the Min siblings beside him. Although he wasn't afraid of the people here, it was still inappropriate to bring 2 children with him. Xue Lingtian, watch these 2 people for me. If something happens to them, you can go sleep with the Tsang dragon. After saying that, he threw Xue Lingtian on the ground. Before Xue Lingtian could react, Lin Rei disappeared at the fastest speed. F***ck, seeing Lin Li walk away, Sanguis dared to say the words in his heart. Mother ***, why did you give me such a miserable job? What are you thinking? I'm a bloodworm of the Great Desolate Era. Do you think I'm a nanny? Blood Lingtian seemed to think that Lin Rei couldn't hear him, so the more he spoke, the more excited he became. But only Lin Rei could understand what he was saying. The Min siblings didn't know anything. The 2 of them stared blankly at the small snake on the ground. Their expressions did not relax in the slightest. They had witnessed the might of the small snake before. Back then, they had encountered a very powerful Yao beast. Originally, Lin Rei had wanted to let Min Tianyu take action to see the results of his cultivation. However, in the end, Min Tianyu was no match for the Yao beast and had almost become the Yao beast's snack. Fortunately, just as the demonic beast was about to reach Min Tianyu, the little snake made its move. Its body instantly became huge, and a bloody mouth appeared, swallowing the demonic beast directly. This scene stunned Min Tianyu and Min Rongrong. Ever since that day, the Min siblings would be very nervous when they saw the little snake. They were so nervous that they did not dare to speak. They were like electric poles standing there. Finally, after scolding for a long time, the little dragon swayed its petite body to the bottom of a nearby building. It raised its tail and waved at Min Tianyu and Min Rongrong, asking them to come over. The 2 of them did not resist the little snake's order. They nodded their heads stiffly and followed behind the little snake with small steps. They stood behind the little snake and did not speak. As for the Min siblings, the little dragon did not care. It just lay on the ground and seemed to be asleep. However, its divine consciousness was always vigilant to check if there was any danger around. On the other side, Lin Rei left without stopping. His figure flashed quickly and arrived at the imperial palace in the eyes of the world. Standing on the city wall and looking at the imperial palace in front of him, Lin Rei could do nothing but sigh. This place is very similar to the Imperial Palace in Wuxia. It's just like this. After all, this is an empire that controls millions of miles of territory. The Imperial Palace is actually so small. Yes, it was small. In Lin Rei's eyes, this place was not even comparable to his Xuanzong sect. However, although it was small, it still had the aura of an emperor. For example, the layout of the Imperial Palace was very good. Although it was small, the decorations were not bad at all. It looked very luxurious and full of gold. The swaying man threw away all the useless things and released his divine consciousness. The layout of the Imperial Palace appeared in Lin Rei's mind. Found it. It was not difficult at all. If one wanted to find a person with divine consciousness, it would be useless even if they were hidden deep underground. Of course, unless there were some array formations that isolated divine consciousness, Lin Rei was not afraid. Within his consciousness, in the depths of the Imperial Palace, there was a huge courtyard. A young man in yellow training clothes was holding a long sword at this moment. He was brandishing a huge set of clothes in his hands. It could be said that he was full of vigor and vigor. Emperor, TSK. Looking at this man, other than sighing, Lin Li's expression also had a trace of pity. A genius with a fire spiritual root of the highest quality. Over the years, he has become such a waste. What a pity, at this moment, it was fortunate that there was no one around. It was even more fortunate that no one knew Lin Rei. Otherwise, his words just now would be enough to shock them to death. What did he mean by a talent that was not bad but became a waste of time? No matter what, he was still a martial saint. How did it become a ruin in your eyes? The emperor of the empire, Li Huangdao, was an early-stage martial sage. He defeated the main force of the empire with his strength alone. He was humble and decisive. Now, in Lin Rei's eyes, Lin Rei's words were simply unbearable. After checking, he stepped into the air and quickly rushed towards Li Huangdao's location. It's that person. At this moment, in a secret room deep in the Imperial Palace, an old man who was cultivating suddenly opened his eyes. A light flashed in his eyes and his expression was full of vigilance. Based on the aura of the person who came, he could tell that the other party was the spiritual body that had collapsed earlier. Thinking of Lin Rei's strength, the old man sighed in his heart. Forget it. Even if I go out, the result will not change much. Thinking of this, his vigilant expression faded. He closed his eyes again and went back to cultivating. If Li Huangdao knew what the old man was thinking, he would probably kill himself. What did he mean by the result will not change much? Alright, even if the result will not change, you should at least tell me the other party's strength. Unfortunately, Li Huangdao did not know. At this moment, he was still immersed in his sword intent and did not notice that someone had come to his side. Gulp, the sound of flowing water was heard, followed by Lin Rei's voice, TSK, this tea is not bad. Unfortunately, Jian Wushuang's tea is too weak. Who is it? Li Huangdao reacted. Lin Rei's voice was so loud that if he did not reflect on himself, Lin Rei would think that Li Huangdao was deaf. He put down his teacup and looked at Emperor Li. A smile flashed across his face as he said, I am Lin Li, and I came here to ask who hurt my mother before this. Who is it that has joined the family? Find out who it is and I will let bygones be bygones. Otherwise. The smile disappeared and killing intent surged. Oh. Otherwise what? Without fear in his heart, Lin Rei asked. The entire Imperial Palace is the price for not doing as you are told. Chapter 1096. Lin Rei's threatening words instantly stirred up Li Huangdao's calm heart. F***ck, he's here to pick a fight. Li Huangdao was now certain that the young man in front of him was here to pick a fight, but his bragging was a little too much, using the entire empire as the price. You bastard, why don't you go to heaven? At this moment, Li Huangdao was extremely displeased with Lin Rei. Disturbing his opinion was already a capital offense, but now he was still so arrogant and insufferably arrogant. If he didn't kill him, who would he kill? Humph, little brother, one must learn to judge the situation. Are you sure you want to be enemies with my Guanyin Empire? Little brother? Hearing how Li Huangdao addressed him, Lin Rei's body trembled, he staggered and almost fell to the ground. F***ck, little brother, I'm old enough to be your great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. Of course, after criticizing in his heart for a long time, he still had a smile on his face, there was no change in his expression. Lin Rei had already seen through Li Huangdao, it would be impossible for him to easily give the answer he wanted. Since that was the case, he might as well take action and save himself the trouble. After thinking it through, he raised his head and looked at Li Huangdao, killing intent flashing in his eyes. Little brat, as you said, one must learn to judge the situation. Don't be fooled by appearances, or you will suffer a great loss. For example. Now, as soon as he finished speaking, Lin Rei's figure instantly disappeared, as if he had never been there. How? Lin Rei's disappearance shocked Li Huangdao quite a bit. After all, people of this level were not famous in the destiny boundary. When Lin Rei disappeared, Li Huangdao's heart inexplicably panicked, but he soon calmed down. After all, he had been here for a long time and was used to seeing big scenes, so there was nothing strange about it. In the instant that Lin Li disappeared, Li Huangdao instantly spread out his senses, inspecting every single blade of grass, every single tree, every single change in the elemental energy ripples around him. For a martial saint, this was easy and pleasant, there was no pressure at all. However, in the next moment, Li Huangdao's face turned solemn. He could not sense Lin Rei's figure at all, not even a trace of his aura. This made Li Huangdao very confused. This shouldn't be the case. Why is this happening? Sensing his surroundings, he scanned his surroundings vigilantly. Now that the other party had not appeared, he could be in danger at any moment. There's nothing wrong with it. Right at this moment, in this quiet space, Lin Li's voice seemed to come from all directions, catching Li Huangdao somewhat off guard. You? How exactly did you do it? Looking around, searching for Lin Rei's figure, he asked. Li Huangdao was very confused about this. If a martial saint could not sense a person, then this person either had a very powerful cultivation method or a very powerful cultivation. There was no way to escape from these two choices. In the dark, Lin Rei looked at Li Huangdao in panic for a moment, then calmed down. Seeing this, Lin Rei admired Li Huangdao a little. Little guy, don't waste your energy. Even if the martial god of your empire is here, I'm afraid he can sense my presence. Do you think he doesn't know that I'm here? He knows that I'm here. If I'm not wrong, the martial god of your empire has already met with my spiritual body. Now that I'm here, he knows that I'm very powerful, so he doesn't dare to appear. Do you think you are a match for me? Or is it that the martial god is your true backer? You actually. Li Huangdao was shocked. Although it was no secret that there was a martial god in the empire, Li Huangdao had mixed feelings when he learned from Lin Rei that the martial god of his empire had met him. If it was really as Lin Rei said, then, didn't that mean that Lin Rei's cultivation was? Thinking of this, Li Huangdao's eyes changed when he looked at Lin Rei. He was no longer looking at Lin Rei with contempt and arrogance. Instead, he became vigilant and could not let his guard down. From the information just now, he sensed that the young man in front of him might be even more powerful than the old ancestor of his empire. If that was the case, then the young man in front of him was a martial god, or even a martial god in the Great Perfection realm. Not to mention the 4 great empires, only the sects would have such a cultivation level. Lin Rei did not know what Li Huangdao was thinking. Looking at Li Huangdao's changing expression, Lin Rei sneered. How about it? I'll give you another chance to choose. Do you want to find someone for me or do you want your empire to be destroyed in your hands? Lin Rei asked again. However, he did not appear. He was ready to fight at any time. If Li Huangdao still did not agree, then he would be serious. Who cares what other people think? As long as he was happy, he did not care about anything else. Silence. Silence replaced all of Li Huangdao's thoughts. He could not figure out Lin Rei's strength. Now that the old ancestor had not come out of seclusion and Ruo Lin was really a martial god, the entire empire would be in trouble. As the emperor of the empire, he could not afford to offend such a murderous god over such a small matter. As the saying goes, a wise man submits to circumstances. As a smart man, of course, he chose to agree. Looking up at Lin Rei, Li Huangdao nodded. I can help you find someone. Lin Rei did not say anything. Usually, there would be a but after this sentence. He believed that Li Huangdao had not finished his sentence. But, sure enough, Lin Rei's thought came true. Li Huangdao blurted out his but. Well, tell me, what is your but? Lin Rei believed that it was inhumane to make a horse work without feeding it. Similarly, from now on, you will not attack the Guangyun Empire, no matter what the reason is. How about it? Huh. Hearing this condition, Lin Li didn't frown. But then, as if he had thought of something, he nodded and said, all right, I agree to your condition. Since that's the case, help me find him. Okay. It's a deal. Seeing Lin Rei agree, Li Huangdao was excited. However, he understood that now was not the time to be excited. Finding someone was the most important thing. Tell me, who are you looking for? Why would you send out a great Buddha like you? Li Huangdao said. His expression was full of curiosity. He wanted to know what kind of person could make a martial god come out. He scanned the surroundings with his gaze, waiting for the other party's answer. My mother appeared in your capital before. However, she seemed to have encountered something that triggered the jade talisman I placed on my mother's body and shattered it. I really want to know who it was that dared to touch my family. Remember my words, no one can touch my mother. Whoever touches her will die. Do you understand? Chapter 1097. Ma. Mother? Stunned, Li Huangdao stared at his surroundings. Hearing this answer, he was stunned. But then, he was filled with boundless rage. Not only did Lin Li want to find that person, even he wanted to see for himself who it was that dared to act so audaciously against the family of a war god. Isn't this just the god of longevity hanging himself? Is he tired of living? Furthermore, if you want to die, don't drag me down with you. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that he had been tricked. If it wasn't for this, perhaps he wouldn't be so passive. This was the first time he was treated like this. He felt as if there was a cold light on his back, as if he would lose his life at any moment. Cold sweat flowed down his face, and his face turned slightly pale. That's all. As for helping me find out about the previous fights in the city, tell me when I come over tomorrow. As he spoke, Lin Li's figure appeared by Li Huangdao's side, and he strode outside. Damn, it can't be, right? He's just beside me. Looking at Lin Rei's figure, Li Huangdao was already numb. Today, Lin Rei had brought him too much shock, and this meal made him numb. Oh, right, don't try to hide it, otherwise. Lin Rei stopped at the door and reminded Li Huangdao who was behind him. At the same time, he looked around, and his eyes were filled with coldness. Understood, understood, understood. Don't worry, I will definitely tell you the answer you want to know. I won't dare to hide anything. That's good. I hope you can do as you say. After saying that, Lin Rei stepped into the air and left. Damn it, after watching Lin Rei's figure disappear from his sight, Li Huangdao fell to the ground as if he had lost all his strength. His clothes were soaked in cold sweat. Looks like I have to go to the great ancestor's place. Looking at the direction Lin Rei left, Li Huangdao recovered for a while, then got up and walked towards the depths of the imperial palace. As for the treasured sword on the ground, Li Huangdao was not in the mood to care about it. Right now, he only wanted to know what was going on, and what was the cultivation of that young man just now? If he wanted to know the answer, he could only go to the place where his ancestor lived. With that thought in mind, he sped up, and his body turned into a series of afterimages as he disappeared into the depths of the Emperor Palace. At that moment, the great ancestor of the empire was sitting among them, and he knew that Emperor Li was coming. He withdrew from his cultivation and quietly waited for Li Huangdao's arrival. Although he had long since withdrawn from the matters of the empire, it was still his father who had founded the empire. He did not want the empire to disappear. Time passed by slowly. After a few minutes, Li Huangdao rushed to the door of a secret room. He reached out his hand and knocked on the door. Knock, 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 great ancestor, your descendant Li Huangdao has come to report. Please meet me. He cupped his hands and bowed respectfully. Come in. I've been waiting for you for a long time. An old voice rushed out of the room and entered Li Huangdao's ears. Yes. He bowed and got up to open the door. An old man appeared in Li Huangdao's field of vision. Looking at the old man, Li Huangdao did not say anything. He strode to the old man and knelt down with a plop. All kinds of complicated formalities appeared. Just like that, a long time was wasted. Finally, Li Huangdao finished all the complicated formalities. He then raised his head and did not beat around the bush. He said bluntly, Great ancestor, someone came just now. His cultivation is very strong. He asked me to help him find his mother. Moreover, that person also said that you have seen that person's spiritual body before. I wonder if this matter, it's true. Before Li Huangdao could finish, the old man directly replied, that person is very strong. So strong that it makes me feel ashamed. It's like I was a baby in front of that person. I couldn't fight back at all. The old man seemed to recall what had happened before. His body could not help but tremble. How is it possible? If what you said is true, then that person's cultivation is beyond the realm of martial god. Li Huangdao was shocked. He was completely shocked. It was beyond Li Huangdao's imagination. That's right. That person's cultivation has reached an unimaginable level. Therefore, you must try your best to fulfill his request. Do not neglect him. Otherwise, the end result will be the destruction of the empire and it will cease to exist. I understand. He got the answer he wanted. Although the answer was a little unsatisfactory, it was still within his expectations. Oh, by the way, great ancestor, that person just said that his mother was bullied in the capital. You also said that you have seen that person's spiritual body before. Do you know who bullied his mother? That person asked me to tell him the answer tomorrow. Now, I have no clue at all. Li Huangdao could not help but smile bitterly when he thought of Lin Rei's strength. When he thought of how he had overestimated his own strength and wanted to fight with him, he felt that it was very funny. That person's mother? Li Huangdao's words stunned the old man. Damn it, I did see a woman when I went there previously. However, that woman was too young. Although he did not know whether it was true or not, he still said it. I did see one before, but that person was so young that I did not pay too much attention to her. Oh. Who was it? Li Huangdao's eyes lit up when he heard the great ancestor's words. He said excitedly, Tell me quickly, who did it? Seeing Li Huangdao's reaction, he smiled and said, It was your beloved concubine's underground. That guy even wanted to do something to her mother. What? Lu family? He was dumbfounded. He did not expect that the person who hurt his mother was from his beloved concubine's family. If that was the case, did that not mean that the royal family was also involved? It's time for the Lu family to take action. Ever since you married that girl, the Lu family has become more and more rampant. They are using the name of the royal family to commit crimes outside. Of course, this is still up to you. After all, I am no longer in charge of the affairs of the imperial palace. The specifics are still up to you. I He hesitated. He liked the daughter of the Lu family very much. He also knew some of the Lu family's actions. However, because of the Lu family's daughter, he turned a blind eye to it. However, now it seemed that he was wrong. "All right, you don't have to stay here. That's all I have to say. I'll leave the rest to you. The Lu family, do as you see fit." After saying that, a gentle energy gushed out from the old man's hand and turned into an invisible hand that pushed Li Huangdao out of the door. With a muffled bang, the door closed and the secret room fell into silence. Outside the door, Li Huangdao looked at the door of the secret room with a complicated expression. Now that he knew the answer, the price he had to pay for it was a huge blow to him. He did not know if he should tell them about the Lu family. F***ck, this is really F***king disgusting. Chapter 1098. Li Huangdao cursed in his heart, then turned and left. If he wanted Linli to settle the matter with the Lu family, then the final outcome would be to send the Lu family out to be slaughtered by Linli. But if that was the case, then the girls of the Lu family, thinking of his beloved concubine, Li Huangdao had a headache. He did not expect that the Lu family would provoke such a powerful existence because of his connivance. He left the imperial palace and walked slowly on the street. At this moment, he was not in a hurry. Since he was already here, he only needed to wait and everything would be done. Walking on the street, looking at the busy traffic and flowers, Lin Rei felt that he could not blend in. The world of mortals is like this. With a long sigh, Lu Changtian's figure appeared in his mind. He wondered why his disciple would appear here, and why was Lu Changtian with his mother? Why did they come here? A big question flashed in Lin Rei's mind. He did not understand why his mother would appear here. As for the Lin family, how was it now? Lu Changtian, who was far away from the capital, did not know that while he was waiting for Hong Si to recover, Lin Rei, his master, had already arrived at the Guanyin Empire and went straight to the imperial palace to seek help from the imperial lord. If Lu Changtian knew about such boldness, he would be speechless. But unfortunately, Lu Changtian did not know. At this moment, he was still waiting. I wonder where this brat is now. While walking, Lin Rei released his divine sense to search for Lu Changtian's whereabouts. At first, he thought that Lu Changtian should still be in the capital, but he did not find Lu Changtian's figure along the way. Now that he thought about it, Lu Changtian was probably not here. Thinking about it, he shook his head with a wry smile and stopped searching. He withdrew his divine sense and continued to stroll leisurely like an old man. The only thing missing was that he was carrying a birdcage. Lin Rei was happy and relaxed, but Li Huangdao, on the other hand, was not the same. He panicked when he thought about how quickly the day would pass. How can I kill two birds with one stone? Not only can I hand over the Lu family, but I can also protect my wife from being implicated. Ruo Lin and Lei knew what he was thinking. They were afraid that other than a sneer, there was some other expression on their faces. Even a hero could not resist the charms of a beauty. What did it have to do with him? All he wanted was the name of the Lu family. As for who he would kill, that would depend on the situation. Jia. The sound of a door opening entered Li Huangdao's ears. Li Huangdao, who was deep in thought, snapped out of his thoughts when he heard this sound. He turned his head and saw a seemingly weak but well-educated woman appear in front of him. Why are you here? Lu Linglong, the youngest daughter of the Lu family, was now Li Huangdao's wife. Her cultivation was close to the Martial King realm. She had broken through to the Martial King realm at such a young age. She was a shocking genius. After entering, she saw Li Huangdao frowning. He looked like he had a lot on his mind. She did not know why, but her heart suddenly tightened. She felt like something had happened that Li Huangdao could not solve. Yi Futian walked towards Li Huangdao and smiled. Huangdao, what's the matter? Li Huangdao asked. As the ruler of an empire, she had never seen Li Huangdao with such an expression. No, never. Even when the army was pressing on the border, Li Huangdao's expression would not change. But now, what had happened? Lu Linglong did not know, but as a smart woman, she knew that if Li Huangdao did not want to say, she would pretend that she did not know anything. Sometimes, pretending to be stupid was a blessing. It's nothing. Li Huangdao did not tell her about the Lu family. He did not want to see Lu Linglong fall out with him because of this. But to Lin Rei, he still had to tell him about the Lu family. Otherwise, the entire empire would be in danger. Even if there were some contradictions, even if Lu Linglong found out that the truth was in his favor, he did not care. At least, he had to get through this. Looking at Lu Linglong's smile, Li Huangdao made a decision. He got up and led Lu Linglong outside. The weather is good today. Let me take you out for a walk. Okay. After Lin Rei came out of the imperial palace, he walked slowly to the place where he had agreed to meet with Xueling Tian. Along the way, he saw people coming and going, which made him feel better. Xuanwu Street, the place where he had agreed to meet with Xueling Tian. Lin Rei looked around and saw the Min siblings sitting obediently in the corner. As for Blood Spirit Sky, he was currently lying down to one side, sleeping comfortably. He was living a very comfortable and carefree life. Looking at Blood Spirit Sky, Linli was stunned. His eyes narrowed, and he took a step forward, instantly arriving in front of Blood Spirit Sky. Not bad, Xueling Tian. Sleeping happily. What did I ask you to do? His voice was accompanied by a terrifying pressure that crushed down on Xueling Tian. Boom, a muffled sound echoed in Xueling Tian's mind. He could not move his body. Xueling Tian, who had fallen into a deep sleep, woke up from his dream. Damn it. He could see Lin Rei's figure, but he did not even have the strength to raise his head. It could not be said that he did not have the strength. It could only be said that his body was no longer under his control. You. When did you come? He asked Lin Rei through divine sense. Just now, you brat. I asked you to look after these two brats, but you actually fell asleep. Did I ask you to come here to sleep? Lin Rei had had enough of Xueling Tian's laziness. However, he also understood that this was his nature. There was nothing he could do about it. He wanted to retort, but it was true that he had fallen asleep just now. Thus, he didn't retort and closed his eyes again, looking as if he could do whatever he wanted. Damn it. Seeing Xueling Tian's current state, Lin Rei's heart shook. Anger rose. Fine, it seems it's time for the Azure Dragons to teach you a lesson. Since you dare to remain silent, let's see if you can still remain silent when the time comes. After saying that, Lin Rei ignored Xueling Tian and went to the Min siblings. After eating, return to your rooms to cultivate. Without my permission, do not take a single step out of your rooms. Understand? Understood. The Min siblings did not dare to hesitate or question Lin Rei's orders. Don't be fooled by Linli's normally amiable and harmless appearance. In truth, Linli was even more terrifying than the Blood Spirit Sky. The obedient Dian Dian stood to the side, not daring to speak. Lin Rei did not say anything. They could do whatever they wanted. After making up his mind, he kicked Xueling Tian and left with the Min siblings. They found a restaurant to stay in. As for Xueling Tian, he continued to follow Lin Rei without any complaints. As for whether he had any complaints, only he knew. Chapter 1099. Time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, Lin Rei had been in the capital for a day. Since entering the imperial palace, Lin Rei had been staying in the inn and had not left. Outside the city, Lu Changtian sat here and waited for Hong Si for a while. He regretted that he had hit Hong Si too hard while checking his injuries. In this regard, he could not help but marvel at the elixir that Lin Rei gave him. It should take a long time to recover from broken limbs. However, a single elixir could almost heal this kind of injury in 1 or 2 days, although the bones might not be used to it. After checking that Hong Xi's injuries were almost healed, Lu Changtian finally smiled. Damn, it's finally healed. He got up and came to Hong Xi's side and said, "Get up quickly. I gave you the elixir to heal you, not to let you enjoy life." Oh. Hong Xi, who was recovering, heard this voice and opened his eyes. He nodded with fear in his eyes. "Senpai, we are now," as he spoke, he got up and patted the dust off his body. He frowned slightly when he felt some pain in his limbs. "To kill someone. Since you're awake, accompany me to kill someone. Let's settle our previous scores." With that, Lu Changtian did not waste any more time. He took Hong Xi to Guochong at an astonishing speed. Having wasted some time, Lu Changtian wanted to end this matter as soon as possible so that he could return to the Divine Valley to cultivate and break through the martial god's nascent soul transformation realm. Thinking of this, his heart trembled and he sped up. This made Hong Xi, who was behind him, a little speechless. He still had a smile on his face, but he was crying in his heart. What did it mean to suffer in silence? What did it mean to be speechless? What did it mean to swallow your broken teeth? Hong Xi was the best example at this moment. Lu Changtian sped up, and he had to speed up as well. His limbs had just been reconnected, and speeding up might cause his limbs to break again. But he had no choice. He did not dare to stop, or he could not guarantee that he would survive. In the capital, Lu Changtian brought Hong Xi to the entrance of the Long residence. Long Yaoyang seemed to have known that Lu Changtian was coming in advance. He was waiting at the entrance. When he saw Lu Changtian, he smiled and stepped forward to welcome him. "Senior Lu Changtian, you're finally here." As he spoke, a piece of paper appeared in front of Lu Changtian. "Senior, this is the list that you asked me to prepare. Everything that you want is on it." Long Yaoyang went straight to the point and was very decisive. "Oh. You didn't miss anything, right?" Lu Changtian frowned as he took the paper and looked at the names of the clans and sects that were densely packed together. Among them, he saw the name of the Guanyin Empire. Of course, the Cloud Wind sect was among them as well. These two colossal forces both had martial gods overseeing them. Looking at these two names, Lu Changtian let out a long sigh. His face became solemn. "It seems that I have to go all out this time." Behind him, Hong Xi heard Lu Changtian's words. His face suddenly changed, and he muttered in his heart, "Damn, it can't be." He had seen Lu Changtian's strength. He was in the martial venerable realm. If Lu Changtian went all out, how strong would his opponent be? Martial venerable? Martial sage? Or, damn, it can't be martial god, can it? Hong Xi was scared when he thought of a possibility. Damn, I don't understand the world of the strong. He didn't want to think further, for he was afraid that what he thought would come true. In front of him, Lu Changtian looked at the paper for a long time. He came to his senses and put the paper away. He looked up at Long Yaoyang and said, "You've done a good job. Although some of them are what the Long clan is facing now, I don't mind helping you get rid of them for the sake of you and Long Ming." Boom! Long Yaoyang's body suddenly changed and his face changed slightly. He understood what Lu Changtian meant, but he didn't say anything. He just nodded and didn't say anything. Looking at Long Yaoyang, Lu Changtian nodded and turned to walk away with Hong Xi. That's it. The Long clan can't participate in this. Keep the Long clan members as little as possible during this period. The capital. I'm afraid it's going to be a mess. Even a fool would understand what he meant. Looking at Lu Changtian, Long Yaoyang bowed deeply and then ordered all the disciples of the Long clan to come back and not go out. At this moment, Lu Changtian left with Hong Xi, unaware of Long Yaoyang's arrangement. Senior, we're going to. Seeing that Lu Changtian didn't say a word, but his murderous aura seemed to be endless, Hong Xi was very nervous. The Lu clan. The Lu clan? Hong Xi was shocked. He knew very well where the Lu clan was, but the Lu clan members participated in the previous siege and were the first on the list. Therefore, the Lu clan will be completely destroyed. Gulp. Hearing Lu Changtian's murderous voice, Hong Xi's heart skipped a beat. He swallowed hard and the fear in his heart was forever. Damn it, who are these people? Why do they want to destroy the entire clan? Can't they just play around? Is the world I've been living in fake? Ever since he was defeated by Lu Changtian, Hong Xi began to doubt how he had lived his previous life. You don't have to do anything when we get there. Find a quiet place and heal your injuries. Try to heal your limbs in these 2 days because you'll be in big trouble later. Regardless of whether Hong Xi was willing or not, he had already told him the result. It was up to him to do it. Oh. Hong Xi nodded and didn't say anything else. He was just like a baby who wanted to know how to behave after Lu Changtian was born. Well, of course, he looked a little different. The Lu clan was a huge clan located in the center of the imperial city. Naturally, they occupied a large area. Especially after their daughter was favored, the Lu clan expanded to boundless size. Lu Changtian finally arrived at the gate of the Lu clan with Hong Xi. Looking at the gate of the Lu clan, Lu Changtian was stunned. This shouldn't be worse than the imperial palace, right? Thinking about the entrance of the Long family, compared to it, it was like a small child meeting a big one. How could it be compared? Let's go. He said to Hong Xi behind him and walked toward the Lu clan. Clang. The sound of weapons colliding was heard. 2 guards at the gate saw Lu Changtian coming and reached out with their weapons to block Lu Changtian's path. Who are you? Don't you need to tell the Lu clan's brothers that outsiders are not allowed to enter? At this moment, one of the guards spoke. Oh. Is that so? Looking at the 2 guards, Lu Changtian's face became gloomier. He was here to kill, so he naturally didn't say anything to them. As soon as he finished speaking, a hand moved quickly and came to the front of one of the guards in an instant, choking his neck. The Lu clan must be destroyed today. Chapter 1100. Carrying a guard, he shouted at the top of his lungs. His voice was mixed with Yuanli, and he didn't care about the Lu family at all. His voice was so loud that it seemed to pierce through the sky. Within a radius of 10,000 meters, it was Lu Changtian's voice. Lu family. Lu Qingzhou was originally waiting for news from Hong Xi. After all, with Hong Xi's strength, Lu Qingzhou believed that he should be able to complete the task soon. Just as Lu Qingzhou was having a headache dealing with family affairs, Lu Changtian's voice came into Lu Qingzhou's ears. With a bang, the jade slip in his hand fell on the table. He looked up at the door and frowned. His face became gloomy. Since the Lu family was built in the capital, no one had dared to provoke the Lu family so unscrupulously for 100 years. Now, there was such a reckless person. This was not only a provocation to the Lu family, but also a provocation to Lu Qingzhou. How could he tolerate this? Bang! The door was pushed open. A subordinate walked in and came to Lu Qingzhou. He bowed and said, "Family head. Go. Send someone to capture this reckless fool. Skin him alive, pull out his tendons, and light up a sky lantern. Let everyone in the capital know that the Lu family is not something they can invade. And this is the result of offending the Lu family. Even the 9 generations will die." Lu Qingzhou said. His words were full of indifference and murderous intent. It seemed that he was really angry. "Yes, I will go now." As Lu Qingzhou's guard, he naturally understood what he meant. He didn't delay and turned to leave. Dong! The door was closed. Lu Qingzhou's face looked better, but his previous mood was completely gone. Dealing with family affairs no longer existed. Lu Qingzhou was already sad about Lu Tianxiang's death. Now that this happened, Lu Qingzhou couldn't accept it. At the gate of the Lu family, after shouting to the Lu family, the sound of bones breaking came to everyone's ears. You. When the other guard heard the sound of bones breaking, his expression changed. As a martial artist, he naturally knew what this meant. His companions, his fellow clansmen, had been chatting and laughing just a moment ago, but now, they were all dead. Moreover, he could not accept this kind of death. He had never thought that someone would dare to be so unscrupulous in front of the gate of the Lu clan. His body slowly retreated backward. He was afraid. His previous threatening tone towards Lu Changtian made him feel like he was courting death. Yes, courting death. Facing someone who was stronger than him and not afraid of the Lu clan, what else could it be other than courting death? Bang! With a loud bang, Lu Changtian threw away the weapon in his hand. He looked at the other guard who was retreating and trying to escape. Murderous intent flashed across his eyes as he looked at him. His tone was cold as he said, "Can we talk?" "I have already said that today, the Lu family must perish. It doesn't matter who comes. Do you want me to become a person who breaks my promises?" After saying that, his figure flashed quickly. Crack. The sound of another number was heard. The two guards outside the Lu family were easily killed. However, this was not the end. Because Lu Tianxiang's actions had already determined the fate of the Lu family. Death was the only path that the Lu family could face now. Lu Changtian did not care about the two dead people at all. "It shouldn't be difficult for you to deal with the small fries outside, right?" he said to Hong Si without looking back. He believed that although Hong Si's limbs had not fully recovered, he could still deal with these people. Otherwise, he would not be a martial arts grandmaster. Hong Si's answer did not disappoint Lu Changtian. He nodded and said, "No problem. You can go in. Leave the outside to me." "Okay. Be careful. Leave no one alive." He nodded and stepped into the gate of the Lin family. The street outside the gate of the Lu family was already crowded at this moment. Everyone had different expressions on their faces. Some were gloating, some were regretful, some were angry, and some were just watching a show. Most of these people had been persecuted by Lu Tianxiang, especially those with cold and murderous expressions. They could not wait for the Lu family to perish so that their persecuted families could rest in peace. Lu Changtian did not have a chance to deal with the outside of the Lu family. Hong Si alone was enough. Lu Changtian was not worried at all about this. As for the Lu family? Oh, the best cultivation in the Lu family just now was the martial arts grandmaster Great Completeness. There were no martial venerables. Of course, even if there were martial arts grandmasters, Lu Changtian was not afraid at all. Even the martial arts sage Lu Changtian could be killed, let alone martial venerables at the same level. He used the butterfly steps and quickly avoided some unnecessary people. He wanted cultivators above the martial king realm. Hong Si could deal with cultivators below the martial king realm. As for martial kings, with the strength of Hong Si's limbs, it would be difficult for him to deal with them. "Bastard, do you know that this is the Lu family? Don't you know that the young lady of the Lu family is now the emperor's woman? Do you?" Just as Lu Changtian was about to enter the inner courtyard of the Lu family, a group of people rushed out and blocked Lu Changtian's way. One of the martial kings walked out and pointed at Lu Changtian to threaten him. "Bastard, come here quickly. Kneel on the ground and kowtow a few times. Maybe I'll be happy and leave your corpse intact." "Ha ha ha, old Shi, you're right." Lu Changtian, who was now opposite them, looked very ugly. This was the first time he had been provoked today. Lu Changtian did not understand. He really could not figure out where the people of the Lu family got the confidence to make them act like this. Did they think that in this world, other than the Lu family, no one else was strong? He really could not figure it out. However, Lu Changtian abandoned this thought. He did not want to think about it anymore because it was not important to him. What was important was that these people in front of him had to die. They dared to have evil thoughts about Huiyun. It did not matter if it was them or not, as long as they were related to them. Seeing them speak without restraint, Lu Changtian did not do anything but sneer. "Oh, you're still not talking? Good. In that case, old Shi, go and kill him. Let him know that the Lu family, whoosh." Kacha, the voice stopped abruptly. Before the man finished speaking, his voice stopped. Everyone's eyes widened. Their faces were filled with disbelief and horror. Their bodies could not help but retreat. The man who spoke before now had one hand on his neck. His head seemed to have lost the support of his spine and was tilted to the side. "You talk too much nonsense. Only death can make you completely quiet." Chapter 1101. The slaughter had begun. This time, it was Lu Changtian's true annihilation of an entire clan. For the first time, if they had not touched Hui Yun, Lu Changtian would not have done this. Even if it was because of the Lin family, Lu Changtian would not have done such a thing. His figure quickly rushed out, shuttling back and forth between the group of martial kings and martial emperors. Lu Changtian used the exquisite separation technique in his hand. Everything that Lu Changtian had returned to him was used at once. 90% of the dozen or so people had already fallen. As for the rest, Lu Zhangtian didn't bother with them because there was no need to. The rest of them hadn't reached the martial king realm, so Lu Zhangtian didn't bother with them. Moreover, with Hong Si blocking the door, it was impossible for these people to leave even if they wanted to. Ignoring the remaining people, he continued to walk deeper. Along the way, it was inevitable that he would encounter some powerful cultivators. Without exception, they were all killed by Lu Changtian. On the other hand, Lin Rei came to the imperial palace as he had agreed with Li Huangdao. He followed the path that he had taken before and came to the place where he had met Li Huangdao. As soon as he entered the courtyard, he saw Li Huangdao off in the distance, quietly waiting for him. Li Huangdao no longer had the arrogance and disdain from yesterday. Aside from being obedient, the only thing Lin Li could see in his eyes was fear. It seems that this little guy has already met that martial god. But this is good. At least it will make things easier. After thinking about it, he smiled and did not say anything. He came to Li Huangdao's side and looked at him, saying, "How is it? Did you find out about the matter I asked you to investigate yesterday?" Turning around and seeing Lin Rei, Li Huangdao quickly bowed and said respectfully, "Senior, I sent people to investigate what you said. There is indeed one thing that matches what you said. Earlier, the son of Lu Qingzhou wanted to attack a woman in front of the Heavenly Fragrance Drunk Gate, but he was saved by an expert. Lu Qingzhou's son, Lu Tianxiang, was also killed by that expert. Conservatively speaking, that expert was at least a martial honorable. After that expert killed a few martial emperors and martial kings and left. As for where exactly he went, As he spoke, a bitter smile appeared on his face. There was nothing he could do about it. Although the empire was powerful, if they wanted to investigate a martial honorable, unless a martial saint made a move, it would be impossible. Oh. Revered martial artist? Hearing the information from Li Huangdao, Lin Rei could basically confirm that the person who was bullied by Lu Changtian was his mother, and that martial venerable could only be Lu Changtian. Yes, it's the Lu family. Alright, I understand. Before Li Huangdao could finish, Lin Rei's voice rang out. His voice was indifferent and emotionless, but Li Huangdao could feel the extreme anger in Lin Rei's heart. It seemed that he was really angry. Turning around, ignoring Li Huangdao, he walked out. After Lin Rei left, the silent space disappeared with Lin Rei's figure. Huff, too strong. Just his aura alone is so strong. Li Huangdao was very shocked by the oppressive feeling just now. I really don't know how strong this person's cultivation is. Inside the Lu family, Lu Changtian had killed his way here. At this moment, Lu Changtian finally met someone who could make him open his eyes. Good, finally an interesting person. Looking at the young man, Lu Changtian spoke softly. Looking at Lu Changtian, the man was stunned. His face instantly became gloomy, and his voice was filled with killing intent. You are the one who came to my Lu family and threatened to destroy my Lu family? This person was none other than the subordinate who was sent by Lu Qingzhou to capture Lu Changtian. Yes. Lu Changtian nodded without hesitation. In his opinion, there was no need to hide. Then, die. As soon as Lu Changtian finished speaking, the man moved. His figure turned into a shadow and disappeared in front of Lu Changtian. Interesting. The man's disappearance did not scare Lu Changtian. However, Lu Changtian felt that the man was a bit interesting. It was not because of the man's cultivation, but because of the man's speed of improvement. This step doesn't look very advanced, but it can increase your speed. It's not simple. Lu Changtian commented. You have some insight, but it's useless. This can't prevent your fate of being killed. However, you should feel gratified to be able to die under Yeshurbu. The man's voice came from all directions. Yeshurbu? He had never heard of this name before. However, looking at the speed of the man's steps, it should have reached the standard. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to have such speed. With the man's current speed, he should be able to reach the peak of martial great realm, or even close to the speed of an early-stage martial revered realm. Pucci. The sound of something breaking through the air came from behind. Coldness instantly engulfed Lu Changtian's heart. You're courting death. Although Lu Changtian did not understand Yeshurbu, it was a pity that the man had not completely mastered it. Otherwise, his speed would be even faster. At the same time, there was a fatal flaw. The difference in cultivation between the man and Lu Changtian was a fixed condition. There was no way to make up for it. So what if the man had steps to replace it? Did Lu Changtian not have them? What a joke! Hearing the sound of something breaking through the air behind him, Lu Changtian tilted his head to the left. A 1-meter-long cold light rushed out from behind him. The cold light on the light made one's hair stand on end. This sword was very powerful. If not for Lu Changtian's cultivation and strong perception, he would have been hit by this sword. Your speed is not bad, but your explosive power is still not enough. After dodging the sword, Lu Changtian quickly retreated, leaving the range of the man's attack. At this time, Lu Changtian could not help but open his mouth to give the man pointers. The atmosphere completely changed. What was originally a battle of life and death was now turned into a sparring session. Especially the man, after hearing Lu Changtian's pointers, his face instantly darkened. Originally, the man had already lost face after not being able to hit the target with one attack. Now that he was being taught sword techniques by the other party, he could not accept this. Son of AB*TCH, shut up. Angry, he raised his sword and roared at Lu Changtian. Following that, he used Yeshurbu again and disappeared in front of Lu Changtian's eyes. AI, forget it. Since you don't have a good memory, then there's nothing I can do. Anyway, it's useless for a dead person to know. Yes, it's enough. Yeshurbu, Lu Changtian sighed and shook his head as if he had missed a treasure. His face was full of regret. Shameless boasting. Hearing Lu Changtian's words, the man did not think that Lu Changtian was very strong. Instead, he felt that Lu Changtian was boasting shamelessly. Die for me. Chapter 1102. The battle was on the verge of breaking out. Basically, Lu Changtian was killing them one-sidedly. Because of the difference in cultivation level and the pressure of his aura, those martial cultivators below revered martial artist instantly lost their will to fight against Lu Changtian. The only person who could survive Lu Changtian's attack was the man who knew Yeshurbu. Of course, the man was not particularly busy. He was in a miserable state, kneeling on the ground on one knee. His entire body was covered in blood and wounds. His clothes were tattered. Even a beggar would be in a better state than him right now. The quiet and secluded path was originally peaceful. But now, it was filled with terror, blood, and corpses. Blood had already dyed the path red. The scene was exceptionally beautiful. TSK, Yeshirbu is indeed powerful. A mere martial ancestor realm cultivator could survive my attacks until now. I have to say, you are a talent. But, if you were not in the Lu clan, perhaps I could have let you go. With your cultivation level, I believe you would be an elder anywhere. What a pity. Looking at the man, Lu Zhangtian's face was filled with pity. Lu Zhangtian was fond of this man, but... Pooh! He spat out a mouthful of blood. His face turned even paler and his body trembled. He supported himself with one hand on the ground and the other on his chest. Enduring the pain, he raised his head and looked at Lu Changtian. The murderous intent in his eyes grew even stronger. The winner is king and the loser is a bandit. In this man-eat-man world, there is nothing to feel pity about. Today, the Lu clan has fallen. But can you guarantee that you won't capsize? You don't really think you are invincible, do you? Do you really think no one in the Lu clan can take care of you? Even if the Lu clan doesn't, does the empire not? The young lady of the Lu clan is the emperor's woman. Do you think you are stronger than the empire? The man's face was full of provocation. I'm not afraid to tell you that the Lu family has already asked the empire for help. I believe that it won't be long before the empire sends powerful martial cultivators to assist the Lu family. When that time comes, you and the woman you want to protect the most will die. You will all pay a painful price for offending the Lu family. Hearing these words, a terrifying killing intent gushed out from Lu Changtian's body, and his face became even more ghastly. You're courting death. Heh, courting death? After joining the Lu family, I never thought that I would be able to survive. Furthermore, as a martial cultivator, the moment I stepped onto the path of martial cultivation, I was already standing on the edge of life and death. Life and death are insignificant to martial cultivators. Perhaps this is a kind of release. Escape from this man-eat-man environment. Cannibalism? Seeing that the man no longer had any desire to live, Lu Changtian knew that the man in front of him had already become indifferent to life and death. Whether it's life or death, it may seem like what you said, but to me, martial cultivators are fighting against the heavens, and even more so, for life and death. Then, he walked towards the man. Although his speed seemed slow, Lu Changtian arrived in front of the man in one step. Life and death may not be important to you, but not all martial cultivators think the same as you. At least, I do. I don't want to die. The world is so big, and I haven't seen it properly. I haven't even experienced the power of this world. It would be a pity to die. Just for this, I have to work hard to cultivate. I have to cultivate until I can surpass the existence of this world, surpass time, and even surpass the existence of death. Heh, forget it. It's useless to say so much. Anyway, no matter what, go in peace. I believe that you won't be lonely, because the entire Lu family will be with you soon. Oh, right, I forgot to tell you. If the Lu family really asked the empire for help, do you think it's normal for the empire to not come after such a long time? You. The man was shocked. Yes, with the strength of the empire, such a long time should be enough for them to come. But now? Let alone help, there wasn't even a shadow of the empire. It was as if the empire didn't receive the news. Thinking of this, the man's face suddenly changed. Any smart person would have thought of something. He raised his head and looked at Lu Changtian. The original madness in his eyes changed to fear and panic. Yes, panic. No matter how scared and worried he was, these were not what he was worried about now. Crack, with fear, he was very worried. Lu Changtian ended his life just like that. Until his death, the man couldn't figure out why the empire didn't help. Of course, it wasn't just the man. Even Lu Changtian couldn't figure it out. What he said just now was completely a guess. Now that he realized it, it was indeed a bit strange. Throwing the man's body aside, he looked in the direction of the imperial palace with a puzzled expression. The empire, what is this Guangyun empire thinking? Logically speaking, with such a big movement in the Lu family, they should have received the news. And, he wanted to say something but hesitated. In the end, he didn't say anything. Forget it, who knows what they are thinking. Anyway, I will do my own thing. Whoever dares to stop me will die. After thinking it through, he didn't stay and stepped out of this bloody place. At this moment, the entire Lu family had turned into an Azura battlefield. The smell of blood had taken over the Lu family. The once luxurious, extravagant, and beautiful Lu family had completely turned into a land of blood. If a strong warrior flew to the sky and looked down on the entire Lu family, he would be able to see that the whole place was dyed red. In the depths of the Lu family, Lu Qingzhou waited for a long time. He still didn't see his subordinates coming to report back. His originally angry heart became even more angry. *CK, this group of trash. Why is it so hard to get them to do something? Talking to himself, he got up and planned to leave to deal with it personally. He wanted to see who was so good. Bang! Just when Lu Qingzhou got up and wanted to deal with it personally, the door was suddenly pushed open. Lu Qingzhou, who was about to move, suddenly stopped. He looked up and saw an old man appear in his sight. Looking at the old man, Lu Qingzhou was dumbfounded. *CK, what's going on? Isn't this the old ancestor? That's right, this was the Lu family's complete martial ancestor realm expert. The Lu family's old ancestor was in seclusion and didn't come out. His temper wasn't very good. But what was the situation now? Looking at the old man, Lu Qingzhou was completely dumbfounded. His brain instantly lost the ability to think. What? Are you surprised to see me? Looking at Lu Qingzhou, the old man's expression froze. No, why did you come out? Looking at the old man, Lu Qingzhou asked doubtfully. Sigh. Looking at Lu Qingzhou's doubtful gaze, the old man sighed. He understood that Lu Qingzhou probably still didn't know what was going on. Chapter 1103. Lu Qingzhou, right? The old man said. Yes. Lu Qingzhou did not dare to be negligent. Although he was the family head of this generation, it would be easy for the old man to take the position of family head. First, the old man's identity. If they were to talk about identity, the old man's identity was much nobler than his, and his bloodline was purer. Second, the old man's cultivation was at the peak of the martial ancestor realm. If he advanced further, he would be at the martial saint realm. This was very useful for the future development of the Lu family. If the old man broke through to the martial saint realm, then other than the emperor clan, only the Lu family would be left. Looking at Lu Qingzhou, the old man nodded, but his expression was very ugly and serious. Lu Qingzhou, now that the family is in danger, I have no choice but to come out. Originally, the Lu family was just a place for me to go into seclusion, but when I thought of the original intention of the Lu family, my heart softened. What? The Lu family is in danger? Without waiting for the old man to finish speaking, Lu Qingzhou spoke. His words were filled with doubt and confusion. Danger? He didn't understand what the old man meant. In his opinion, the Lu family's current situation could be described as smooth sailing, so smooth that it couldn't get any smoother. Why did the old man say that it was a crisis? It seems that you really don't know anything. Without a chance, Lu Qingzhou interrupted him. A mocking expression appeared on his face. The Lu family was broken through by an expert, and now the Lu family is flowing with blood. Tell me, isn't the Lu family in danger? I'm not afraid to tell you that even if I were to personally attack, I'm afraid I wouldn't be a match for that person, so, in a while, I'll try my best to explain the matter clearly. If there really is a misunderstanding, it's best if it can be solved. At most, we'll lose the Lu family's wealth, but if it can't be solved, then, at this point, his words came to an abrupt end, and his expression became more and more ugly. A person had rushed into the Lu family and wantonly killed. This kind of attitude had already explained everything. It was just that the old man always felt lucky. That's impossible. Lu Qingzhou still could not believe it. After all, the Lu family was now connected to the emperor. Who would be so reckless? Forget it. Let's go. Once we're here and see everything that's happening in the Lu family, you'll understand whether or not my words are true. Without waiting for Lu Qingzhou's agreement, he turned around and left the room. As for Lu Qingzhou, although he was extremely unwilling in his heart, he still had no choice but to follow behind. On the way, Lu Qingzhou's heart was beating like a drum. After all, the old man would not come out under normal circumstances. Now that he had appeared, what he had just said might be, no, could it be? Lu Qingzhou's heart was very tangled. Thinking of the previous report from the gate guard, Lu Qingzhou believed it a little. Could it be that what old ancestor said is true? But how is that possible? With the existence of the empire, who would be so reckless? Given longer standing in the sovereign monarch's palace, who would do such a thing? Of course, the old man didn't know what Lu Qingzhou was thinking, and neither did Lu Changtian. Both sides were walking in opposite directions. Outside the gate of the Lu family, Hong Si was standing there. His whole body was covered in blood. Nothing else could be seen except for his face, which could be vaguely seen. After leaving the imperial palace, Lin Rei did not return to the restaurant, but went directly to the Lu family. In front of the Lu family's gate, Lin Rei came to the Lu family. Looking at the crowd gathered at the gate of the Lu family, he paused and then squeezed into the crowd. The first thing he saw was Hong Si, who was guarding the gate. Looking at Hong Si, Lin Rei asked the onlookers with doubts, "Damn, who is this person? Why is he so ruthless? A newcomer?" Hearing someone's question, the man turned to look at Lin Rei and said, "The Lu family is now the #1 family in the capital. I don't know why, but 2 people came and threatened to exterminate the Lu family without saying anything. See, one person has already rushed in, and the other is the person guarding the gate. Every person who rushed out of the Lu family killed. See, he is stained with the blood of the Lu family. Tisk, tsk, this appearance, hiss." Looking at Hong Si's appearance, the man could not help but gasp. His expression was full of fear. However, the speaker did not mean it, but the listener did. Hearing the man's perception, Lin Rei was stunned and looked at Hong Si. He did not know who Hong Si was, but he knew that the Lu family was his. Other than him, no one else had the right to exterminate the Lu family. Thinking of this, he took a step forward, wanting to rush into the Lu family and exterminate the Lu family. Hey, where are you going?" Lin Rei's action attracted the attention of a passerby. Then, he reached out and grabbed Lin Rei. "Do you want to die? You can't even enter the Lu family now." Saying this, the man pointed at Hong Si, who was standing at the gate. Obviously, he meant to pass through Hong Si. "Oh, thank you for your kindness, but I am also involved in the Lu family's affairs, so..." He cast a grateful look at the man, although the man's obstruction did not work at all. Exerting strength in his arm, he broke free from the man's control and walked toward the Lu family. At this time, Hong Si, who was guarding the gate, also noticed Lin Rei. Looking at Lin Rei, he frowned and said in a deep voice, "Little brother, stop. You want to stop me?" Looking at Hong Si, Lin Rei stopped and asked, "Little brother, are you from the Lu family?" "No." "Little brother, are you related to the Lu family?" "No." Seeing how long-winded Hong Si was, Lin Rei's face turned cold. He said impatiently, "Okay, stop asking. I have nothing to do with the Lu family. But I still want to enter the Lu family. So, get out of my way. Don't make unnecessary sacrifices. You can't stop me." Lin Rei was not lying about this. If Lu Changtian saw Lin Rei here, he would probably retreat in fear. However, Hong Si did not know Lin Rei and did not understand Lin Rei's strength. As a martial arts grandmaster, how could Hong Si tolerate such provocation? Little brother, be careful with your words. Trouble comes from the mouth. Sometimes, people will die. Humph. Ignoring Hong Si, Lin Fan snorted and walked toward the Lu family. He glanced at Hong Si and walked toward the Lu family. Huh, sure. Since you want to die, then die. Seeing that Lin Rei did not know what was good for him and even dared to ignore him, how could he tolerate it? His cultivation erupted in an instant. In a flash, he appeared in front of Lin Rei. He raised his sandbag-sized fist and punched at Lin Rei's face. Hong Si used 90% of his strength in this punch. He was going to kill Lin Rei. You're overestimating yourself. Lin Li was well aware of Hong Si's actions. He felt helpless about Hong Si's actions. No, it could be said that Hong Si disdained to kill him. Forget it. Since you killed the Lu family, I'll spare your life today. As he spoke, he released his pressure and instantly shrouded Hong Si, who was rushing toward him. Boom! A cultivator's pressure was not something a martial arts practitioner could resist. The moment the pressure shrouded Hong Si, he was pressed to the ground and looked very embarrassed. Remember, don't be so reckless next time. You'll die. Chapter 1104. Lin Rei returned the same words to Hong Si. How ironic it was for Hong Si. With great difficulty, he raised his head. As he looked at Lin Li, the look in his eyes was no longer the same as before. Instead, it was complicated and filled with terror. To be able to suppress him to the point that he couldn't move without making a move, even Lu Changtian wouldn't be able to do that. Hong Si understood that he was no match for the person in front of him. Even Lu Changtian from the Lu family courtyard might not be able to survive one move from the person in front of him. Lin Rei did not know what Hong Si was thinking. He ignored Hong Si, who was lying on the ground, and stepped into the Lu family. F***ck, is he a big shot? Yeah, isn't he too powerful? Just by releasing his aura, he can suppress this person to the point that he can't fight back. How terrifying is the cultivation of such a person? At this moment, the onlookers were shocked by the scene in front of them. The most shocked one was the man who wanted to stop Lin Rei before. The strength that Lin Rei showed at this moment was enough to prove that there was no problem for him to enter the Lu family. However, he stupidly went forward to stop him. Thinking of this, the man's face turned red. Stepping into the courtyard, looking at the corpses all over the ground and the rivers of blood, it was as terrifying as the scene of Azura. Who on earth is it? Interesting. Looking at the scene in front of him, Lin Rei smiled. Then he released his divine sense and enveloped the entire Lu family in an instant. In the next moment, the entire Lu family turned into a 3D image that appeared clearly in Lin Rei's mind. Lu Changtian is also here? The moment he saw the figure in the depths of the Lu family, Lin Rei was stunned and then recovered. It seems that everything that happened in the Lu family was caused by this guy. If that's the case, isn't the guy at the gate? Looking at Lu Changtian's figure, Lin Rei thought of the bloody man who stopped him at the gate and smiled awkwardly. He immediately withdrew his coercion and transmitted his voice to Hong Si. Once you enter the Lu family, don't even think about running away. You should know that you can't escape. These words echoed in the mind of Hong Si, who was lying on the ground outside the gate of the Lu family. F***ck me. What's the situation? The voice came too suddenly, and he still remembered this voice. It was the voice of the young man just now. What shocked Hong Si was that the man had already entered the Lu family, but now the voice was ringing in his mind. Turning his head to look at the onlookers, Hong Si was sure that he was the only one who heard the commotion just now. Forget it, let's go in first. Hong Si jumped up from the ground and stretched his body. After feeling the pain from the coercion disappear, He stepped into the Lu family. With a muffled thud, Hong Si entered the Lu family. He didn't forget to pay attention to the gate. What did he mean by, leave no one alive? That was it. However, anyone who showed signs of life in the Lu family, whether human or beast, must die. After closing the gate, he trotted to catch up with Lin Rei. He didn't dare to move behind Lin Rei, as if he was afraid of angering Lin Rei. Looking at Hong Si, Lin Rei smiled and said, "How do you know my disciple?" Hong Si. Lin Rei's sudden words made Hong Si confused. Your disciple? What disciple? Since when did I know your disciple? Brother, you should at least make it clear. Looking at Lin Rei, Hong Si was going crazy. Senior, your disciple is. Hong Si resisted the urge to beat him up and asked. Oh, I forgot to tell you. My disciple is Lu Changtian. Boom. The news exploded in Hong Si's mind like a bolt from the blue. For a moment, Hong Si couldn't wrap his head around it. Lu Changtian is your disciple? F***ck, who else could it be? Lu Changtian is much older than you. How can you be Lu Changtian's master? Are you kidding? At this moment, Hong Si's first thought was disbelief. After all, there was an age gap between them. Although the other party's cultivation was very high, Hong Si still didn't believe it. You don't believe me? Seeing that Hong Si didn't say anything, Lin Rei frowned and asked. Well. Seeing Lin Rei's face darkening, Hong Si was stunned and then quickly explained, Senior, it's not that I don't believe you, but your age is really, well, you'll understand when we get there. Lin Li didn't say anything else. He understood that because he was too young, it was normal that the other party didn't believe him. As for how the two of them had met, Lin Li also understood that he wouldn't be able to ask about it now. Since there was nothing to say, he naturally quickened his pace. He wasn't worried about Lu Changtian at all. After all, who taught Lu Changtian? Moreover, he had just checked. In the entire Lu family, the strongest cultivation was only at the martial Grandmaster Great Perfection. Lu Changtian's cultivation was at the martial Venerable Realm, so Lin Rei wasn't worried at all. As Lin Rei thought, Lu Changtian successfully met the warrior at the martial Grandmaster Great Perfection. At first sight of Lu Changtian, Lu Qingzhou's heart skipped a beat. He understood that what the great ancestor said was true because Lu Changtian's clothes were stained with blood, but his clothes weren't torn. Obviously, the blood belonged to someone else. Looking at Lu Changtian, Lu Qingzhou stepped forward and said, Senior, how did my Lu family offend you? Why did you come to my Lu family to kill us so ruthlessly? The Lu family great ancestor behind Lu Qingzhou frowned slightly when he saw Lu Qingzhou being so reckless. His expression became ugly. He really couldn't figure out how such a person could be qualified for the position of the Lu family head. Of course, now was obviously not the time to think about this. If it were today, the Lu family situation would change. Of course. The premise was that the Lu family could survive this time. Otherwise, everything would be in vain. Ignoring Lu Qingzhou's barking, Lu Changtian also looked at the old man behind Lu Qingzhou. Lu Changtian could feel that this should be the great ancestor of the Lu family. Looking at the old man, Lu Changtian cupped his hands and said, I am Lu Changtian of the Lin family. This time, I came for no other reason than to destroy the Lu family. He went straight to the point and didn't hide anything. If someone weaker said this, they probably wouldn't be able to leave the Lu clan today. Unfortunately, Lu Changtian's cultivation level was very high, so he didn't have any scruples. Lu Changtian? Hearing Lu Changtian introduce himself, he frowned and repeated softly. Then, he cupped his hands and responded. Lu Qingbai of the Lu family, the third-generation elder of the Lu family. A very simple sentence was enough to explain Lu Qingbai's status. Lu Qingbai? Looking at the old man, Lu Changtian continued, in that case, let's get this over with quickly. I don't like to waste time. In the dark, Lin Rei, who had already arrived, heard Lu Changtian's words. He rolled his eyes and said angrily, F***ck, this bastard actually stole my words. It seems that the previous training was too easy. As he spoke, the corners of his mouth curled up slightly and a smile appeared. However, this smile didn't have the slightest gentle feeling in the eyes of Hong Si. In addition to coldness, there was only fear. Sigh, senior, you are really unlucky this time. I wish you good luck. Looking at Lu Changtian, Hong Si silently mourned in his heart. On the other side, Lu Changtian didn't know that Lin Rei had arrived. At this moment, the yuan qi in his body had accumulated to a peak and was about to erupt. Looking at Lu Changtian, Lu Qingbai sighed. Is there no room for redemption? Can you tell me why you want to destroy my Lu family? Lu Qingbai understood that the Lu family had forgotten today. However, he wanted to understand why the man in front of him had to destroy the Lu family. Looking at Lu Qingbai, Lu Changtian didn't hide anything and said, Lu Tianxiang of the Lu family touched someone he shouldn't have and hurt that person. Therefore, he must die. And as the price for hurting that person, the entire Lu family must be destroyed. Of course, you may not believe it. Even if I didn't come today, another person will come soon. If that person comes, then your Lu family won't be as simple as being destroyed. What? It's you. Lu Qingzhou, who was quietly listening to the conversation between Lu Changtian and Lu Qingbai, was stunned. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Looking at Lu Changtian, Lu Qingzhou pretended to be crazy and rushed toward Lu Changtian. You killed my Tianxiang? At this moment, Lu Qingzhou didn't care whether he was a match for Lu Changtian or not. He just wanted to kill the person in front of him to avenge his son. The hatred of killing his son was irreconcilable. Even if he had to risk his life, he wouldn't hesitate. Humph, an ant-like thing dares to bark in front of me. You don't know what's good for you. Facing Lu Qingzhou's rush, Lu Changtian didn't get angry. Instead, he laughed. The power that he had accumulated at random seemed to have found an outlet. He raised his hand and slapped at Lu Qingzhou. Star finger. The star finger was instantly used. His middle finger and index finger instantly turned white and poked at Lu Qingzhou. Oh, not bad. You've cultivated the star finger to this level. Although it hasn't reached the standard, it's not bad. You barely passed. In the dark, Lin Rei was slightly gratified as he watched Lu Changtian use the battle technique. Of course, it was just gratification. After all, he could reach this level in 2 or 3 days at most. Of course, it could be even shorter. Puchi. The sound of flesh being pierced was heard. Lu Qingzhou's body was fixed in the air, and Lu Changtian appeared in front of Lu Qingzhou. One of his hands was already poking at Lu Qingzhou's heart. Scarlet blood slid down Lu Qingzhou's arm. The scene was slightly terrifying. Puff, he spat out a mouthful of blood and looked down at his chest in disbelief. How is this possible? He couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe that he, a martial emperor, was killed by Lu Changtian without even taking a single blow. He couldn't believe that his fate had completely ended today. He couldn't believe that he would die. Wasn't his daughter the emperor's woman? Why didn't the emperor help? Questions appeared in Lu Qingzhou's mind, but unfortunately, he would never know the answer to these questions. Bang! Ignoring whether Lu Qingzhou was still alive, Lu Changtian casually threw him aside. His eyes fell on Lu Qingbai. His expression was full of passion. Obviously, he wanted to fight with Lu Qingbai. It's your turn. Yes, it's my turn. A wry smile appeared. He knew himself and knew that he was no match for the person in front of him. However, as a warrior, there was no reason to retreat. Knowing that it was impossible to do it, it was a warrior's nature. Come, show me the strength of a complete martial ancestor realm cultivator who is only a step away from becoming a martial ancestor realm cultivator. A long sword appeared. This time, Lu Changtian didn't use his bare hands, he used his weapon. He wasn't an arrogant person. Lu Changtian was very much looking forward to him, who was only a step away from Martial Grandmaster Great Perfection and Martial Venerable. Alright, since that's the case, then let's fight to our heart's content. The bitter smile disappeared, and indeed, Dai Ji was also a bit crazy and a bit free and easy. Tisk, two little kids. How can they be so excited about a fight between kids? They're really drunk. Looking at Lu Changtian and Hong Si, Lin Rei snorted. Kids. Kids fighting? Who? Them? Hearing Lin Rei's words, Hong Si was stunned and at a loss. However, soon, Hong Si refocused his attention on Lu Changtian and Lu Changtian. Such a big fight was rare. With his current realm, he might be able to break through after watching it. Whoosh! He moved. Lu Qingbai's figure flashed quickly and rushed to Lu Changtian's side at an amazing speed. A sky halberd appeared in his hand and he swept it toward Lu Changtian's head. The first move was a killing move. His body was full of killing intent and it was shocking. At first glance, one could tell that the person in front of him had killed many people. Not bad, his attack is very strong, but his combat skills are a bit poor. Well, his prediction ability is also very strong. Not bad. Compared with Lu Changtian, he is much better. If there is no gap in cultivation, Lu Changtian will not be a match for Lu Qingbai. In the distance, Lin Rei couldn't help but analyze the fight between Lu Changtian and Lu Qingbai. It can't be. Hong Si, who was listening to Lin Rei's analysis, was a little shocked. He couldn't believe that Lu Qingbai was better. Oh, you will know in a while. If it wasn't for the gap in cultivation, I'm afraid Lu Changtian would have lost at this moment. Lin Rei said with a touch of disappointment on his face. It seems that after this matter, I have to let him go deeper into the Divine Valley. Otherwise, he will be a disgrace to me with his strength. Hong Si said to himself and couldn't help but tremble. Lu Changtian didn't know that he had been targeted by Lin Rei. He was afraid that his future would be difficult. Seeing the sky halberd rushing at him at such a fast speed, Lu Changtian was a little surprised. He quickly raised his hand and blocked the long sword. With a crisp sound, the long sword blocked the sky halberd. However, compared to the sky halberd, the long sword had some flaws. The two sides collided, and the force of the collision came from their weapons. As they spoke, the weapons rushed into each other's bodies. Whoosh, the two sides separated. Lu Changtian retreated a dozen steps and Lu Changtian retreated 3 steps. However, the long sword in his hand was trembling because of the huge force. Even Lu Changtian's arm was a little numb at this moment. I met a tough opponent. You're tuning into the Biyao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.